which is why we must not stop having them. Dream on. Our dreams provide us with motivation and a sense of purpose. Pursuing one's dreams can lead to a deep sense of personal fulfillment and satisfaction. Achieving your dreams can even partially bring a sense of accomplishment and joy. So dream on. Our dreams give us something to strive for and help guide our decisions. Our dreams stimulate creativity and imagination. They encourage us to think beyond the present and consider new possibilities, leading to innovative ideas and solutions. So dream on. Our dreams help us stay resilient in the face of challenges. They provide us a reason to keep going when things get tough, and they remind us of what we are working towards. So dream on. Dreams help us to get and to set long-term goals and to look forward towards the future with hope and anticipation. They give us a clear vision of what we want to achieve, which can be broken down into smaller, manageable steps. So dream on. Dream on. Achieving your dreams benefits not just you as an individual. Your dreams and the pursuit of them can inspire others. They show what is possible and can encourage others to pursue their own dreams. Your dreams birth dreams in others. So dream on. Robert H. Goddard, the man who built the world's first liquid-fueled rocket, once said, "It is difficult to say what is impossible, for the dream of yesterday is the hope of today and the reality of tomorrow." Or as Canadian movie director Marshall simply puts it, dreams are the realities of tomorrow. So dream on. Let nothing stand in the way of your dreams. This is Good Morning to you, dear listener. Coming up at 6 a.m. is Zed News in the Morning with Abdullah Saka.
Free, O Lord, we thank thee. Oh yes, we thank thee, Lord, for every flower that blooms, birds that sing, fish that swim, and the light of the moon. We thank thee every day as we kneel and pray, that we were born with eyes to see these things. Yes, we thank thee for the fields where the clover is grown. Thank thee for the pastures where cattle may roam. Thank thee for thy love so pure and so free, O Lord. We thank thee.
You're tuned in to Zed 101.9 FM, your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
It is 6 a.m. here in Accra. Good morning and welcome to Zed News in the Morning. Coming up, Northton MP Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa to lead hands-off hotels demonstration today as opposition to sale of Snit hotels to Agric Minister Brian Echampo intensifies. CTAC to decide today whether to honor NLC's invitation to meet it over its concerns as it remains on strike despite Fair Wages and Salaries Commission's directive, and state prosecutors to cross-examine businessman Richard Jakwa in ongoing ambulance trial today after his explosive testimony last Thursday. Many thanks for joining us. I am Saka Abdullahi. Let's begin. Northern MP Samuel Ekujeto Ablakwa is expected to lead a demonstration against the sale of the 4 Senate hotels to our Greek minister, Brian Champon, today. The protest, dubbed Hands Off Our Hotel, will see individuals and groups that are opposed to the transaction turn up to voice their displeasure for the deal, which has become a subject of controversy since last month. The minority in Parliament, TUC, and the United Gadangwe Caucus have already declared their support for the demonstration. Addressing a press conference yesterday, Mr. Ablakwa said their petition will call on President Akufo-Addo to immediately halt the sale of the hotels. He argued that selling state properties to government officials is an abuse of power.
We cannot keep doing the same thing all these decades and expect different results. It doesn't show that we are growing and maturing and thinking as a country. So we are going to demand that the sale of state assets, and it's going on all over, it's not only our hotels. Our MPs will be revealing to you how some other assets, gun lands, are being looted, plundered with impunity. We are saying enough is enough. We are also saying that in any case, the government ought to know that these properties are properties of Ghanaian workers and the Ghanaian people, and they cannot proceed to sell them without the consent of workers and the Ghanaian people. That is a strong demand we are making. We are also saying that it is wrong for ministers to buy state assets. It is the height of conflict of interest. You don't sit in cabinet, take these decisions, you have insider information, and then you turn around to buy them.
That was the MP for North Tong, Samuel Ekujeto Ablakwa. Now, striking teachers in colleges of education striking teachers in colleges of education are to decide today whether to honor an invitation by NLC to meet on Thursday to resolve their concerns. CTAC announced an indefinite strike on Friday due to what it said was government's failure to implement the NLC's arbitral award orders and agreed upon service of conditions. This strike impacts all 46 public colleges of education in Ghana and is intended to pressure the government to address CTAC's demands. The Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, which has described the strike as an action in bad faith, has directed the teachers to return to the classrooms, but the directive is being defied by CTAC. Here's President of the Association, Prince Obinhima.
We need to place it on record that CTAC doesn't take instruction from the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. The Labour Commission has indeed invited us for a meeting on Thursday. So we are in consultation with our legal team and the labor experts. Eventually, there will be a showdown on Thursday, after which we will, proceed. But I must say that for the strike, we are still on strike. Nothing has changed because the narrative is that we haven't complied with the arbitral orders, so we are on strike.
That meeting invitation has been received, by a decision as to whether to honor that invitation will be made Tuesday.
We are going to have a meeting with our advisors, so we make a decision out of the invitation that has come.
Okay, but ahead of that invitation and that meeting, the NLC has made orders, and it's up to the NLC to ensure that the relevant government institutions comply with the orders. They haven't done that. So on what basis are they calling you for another meeting?
That is the million-dollar question that we all need to ask. And that is the question that the NLC and all the people who have been trying to bastardize our action have to answer. So on which basis at all are they calling us for the meeting?
That was the president of CTAC, Prince Obinhima. Now, the Health Ministry has appealed to the Medical Laboratories Professional Workers Union to call off its strike and return to the negotiation table. The lab professionals gave government a one-week ultimatum on June 7 to resolve outstanding concerns relating to conditions of service, failing which they will embark on an indefinite strike on June 17. But the ultimatum has not been met by government, prompting the withdrawal of services starting yesterday. In a statement, the Health Ministry asked the lab professionals to be patient. Let me take you through excerpts of that statement, and it reads: the Ministry of Health acknowledges the strike notice issued by the Medical Laboratory Professional Workers Union, MELPU, indicating that a strike will commence on Monday, 17 June 2024, to urge the government to approve and implement their proposed conditions of service. MELPU has requested continue negotiations to finalize their proposed conditions of service with the government. The government negotiation team, led by the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, has had extensive engagement with MILPU since 2023 and is guided by both internal and external relativities. Majority of the items proposed by MILPU have been agreed upon by the government negotiation team. However, uniform special project on sociable and communication allowances proposed by the union are still under various stages of negotiations. The ministry can confirm that negotiations are ongoing and therefore appeal to MILPU leadership to reconsider its decisions to strike and return to negotiation table with the government negotiation teams, which include the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations, and the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. And the statement ends by saying that we hope that in the spirit of cooperation, this strike will be called off as soon as possible, and it is issued and signed by the Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Health. We'll keep you up to date with any developments on that particular story. Now, away into energy, the Institute for Energy Security says the announcement that there will be disruptions to power supply due to gas supply challenges is a convenient excuse. Gridco and ECG said on June 13 that there will be a 3-week interruption in gas supply owing to the reduction in gas supply due to maintenance works being undertaken in Nigeria. However, the IES says the country has been experiencing a generation deficit even before WAPCO's maintenance works. Research and policy analyst at the Institute, Derek Hatcher, tells Z News that there are thermal plants that do not rely on gas. Hence, a reduction in gas supply should not result in power interruptions.
We decided to find out the amount of power that has been generated on daily basis at peak hours, which is 10 p.m. on daily basis. And we realized that from 1st January to the 4th of June, on average, we've just been able to generate 3,188 megawatts, which is far below the expected peak demand. The peak demand as at 26th December 2023 was around 3,618 megawatts. But the same Energy Commission projected that for the year 2024, we should expect peak demand to be around 3,788. So at any particular point in time where you're able to generate power, which is far below the 3,788, then it means that you are running a deficit, and that deficit definitely will result in doom. So the letter from WAPCO showing that there is a gas supply challenges is just a convenient way for government to announce to Ghanaians that we should be experiencing or expecting doom going forward. Not all of them does rely on the natural gas, and so you will say that they will be affected by the gas supply from WAPCO. Aside Ameri and then the Southern Assembly Power Plant, the rest can all combine either natural gas or light crude or HF, which is the heavy fuel oil. And so definitely, not that if we experience supply challenges from WAPCO, that means that our thermal plant should shut down.
You heard the research and policy analyst at the Institute of Energy Securities, Derek Hatcher. Away from that, state prosecutors are expected to cross-examine the third accused person in the ongoing ambulance trial today. The cross-examination comes after Thursday's hearing, which saw the audio conversation between businessman Richard Jakpa and AG Godfred Dame being admitted into evidence. At that hearing, Mr. Jakpa was questioned by Dr. Aziz Bamba, who is the lead counsel for the first accused in the case, Minority Leader Dr. Kessel Atoforsen. During that cross-examination, Mr. Jakpa disclosed significant details about his interactions with the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice regarding the case. Among other things, he alleged that the AG Godfred Dame asked for help to jail the minority leader and get him out of parliament so that a by-election can be held. We'll monitor today's proceedings and bring you updates in our subsequent bulletins. Let's move on. Security analyst Dr. Adam Bona has lamented the continuous antagonism between the governing NPP and the opposition NDC, especially in election years. It follows the violent clashes between supporters of the two parties in the Edra Setredumasu constituency on the final day of the vote transfer exercise. At least 5 people were injured in the incident that also saw EC officials flee the registration center. The clashes were reportedly triggered over allegations that the NPP buzzed individuals from their strongholds to bolster their numbers in the constituency for the upcoming elections. Reacting to the incident, Dr. Bona said the suspicion between the two parties is not the best.
You know that in one way or the other, you would have both parties accusing the police, depending on, the way things are panning out. I heard someone, I think one of the party executives at that particular center complaining. I think that they need to know that the police is there to maintain peace, and therefore the two, especially big parties, should as much as possible work together with the police. Sometimes the police themselves have been accomplices when it comes to some of these things we see, but that is not to say that even when the information coming out does not suggest so, those of us who work closely with the parties and work with the Electoral Commission, work with, the police themselves, we should say, well, we agree. And so I think that they don't have a choice but to work with everybody who is part of the electoral process. For me, I think they should be blamed. The political parties should be blamed. They should take the blame for busing people and moving people around. And once you do that, then suspicions will be ripe everywhere, and that is what is causing the challenge. I think that whatever it is, MPP, NDC have always been antagonizing one another, which is not the best, because at the end of the day, it's just a simple voter transfer they are doing. Why would they? I went to do mine recently, and it didn't take me long. I did it peacefully and worked away. Why can't we have that in some of these flashpoints? We can't.
That was Dr. Adam Bode, a security analyst, speaking on the tensions between the NDC and the NPP. Now, on the international front, the African National Congress said on Monday South Africa's new government has 5 parties in it so far, representing more than 2/3 of the seats in the National Assembly, and talks with other parties were ongoing. Following last month's election, the ANC was forced to forge alliances with other political parties after failing to win a parliamentary majority for the first time since the 1994 election that marked the end of apartheid. ANC leader Cyril Ramaphosa was re-elected as South Africa's president by Parliament on Friday, as his party drew support from its largest rival, the white-led pro-business Democratic Alliance, as well as 2 smaller parties, the socially conservative Inkatha Freedom Party and the right-wing Patriotic Alliance. The ANC said on Monday that another smaller party, Good, had also signed up to be part of the Unity Government Pact. The collective represents 273 seats in the National Assembly, or 68% of the ANC. The ANC said in a statement, South Africa's parliament has 400 seats. The ANC won 159 seats. The DA is the second largest party with 87 seats. The IFP has 17 seats. PA has 9 seats, and Good has a single seat. The ANC said the unity government would ensure representation in government for all participating parties and would make decisions by consensus. That is all we have for news on Zed News in the Morning. But before we go, let's take a recap of the top stories. Northern MP Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa to lead hands-off hotels demonstration today as opposition to the sale of Sned hotels to Agric Minister Brian Champon intensifies. CETA to decide today whether to honor NLC's invitation to meet over its concerns as it remains on strike despite Fair Wages and Salaries Commission's directive, and state prosecutors to cross-examine businessman Richard Dakwa in ongoing ambulance trial today after his exclusive testimony last Thursday. Remember to follow us on our social media platforms on ZFMGH on Instagram, Facebook, and X. Also visit our website www.zmultimedia.com for more news. I am Saka Abdullahi. Jerry Ham continues with Zed in the Morning.
It's your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio, Zed FM.
In the heart of Accra, nestled in the vibrant neighborhood of East Legon and New Beacon, a 360 multimedia firm has emerged. Introducing Zed Multimedia. With a steadfast focus on lifestyle, leisure, and business, we set out to bring high-value oriented programs that captivate the taste and desires of our audience. From the captivating airwaves of Zed 101.9 FM to the dynamic visuals of Zed TV and the innovative realms of Zed Digital
Digital, and the incubation of advanced technological knowledge at Zed Tech, every facet of modern media is meticulously curated to engage and inspire. Also, let's not forget the New Finder newspaper, now under the Zed Multimedia umbrella, delivering insightful journalism with a business focus. Join us on the journey where innovation meets inspiration, where lifestyle meets leisure, and where business thrives. Change is here. Zed Multimedia, your lifestyle, leisure, and business platform. In the heart of Accra, nestled in the vibrant neighborhood of East Legon and New Beacon, a 360 multimedia firm has emerged. Introducing Zed Multimedia. With a steadfast focus on lifestyle, leisure, and business, we set out to bring high-value oriented programs that captivate the taste and desires of our audience. From the captivating airwaves of Zed 101.9 FM to the dynamic visuals of Zed TV and the innovative realms of Zed Digital and the incubation of advanced technological knowledge at Zed Tech, every facet of modern media is meticulously curated to engage and inspire. Also, let's not forget the New Finder newspaper, now under the Zed Multimedia umbrella, delivering insightful journalism with a business focus. Join us on the journey where innovation meets inspiration, where lifestyle meets leisure, and where business thrives. Change is here. Zed Multimedia, your lifestyle, leisure, and business platform.
Back to do that which is fascinating. Back to give you the information you need. Back to speak to those who really know what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, those are the center of the issues. Back to ask them the questions you want us to. Back to seek solutions to the challenges you're facing. Back to present you with all sides of the issues. Back to help you make the most informed decisions. It's a show dedicated to lifestyle, to leisure, and business. A morning show created for you, created with you in mind, people. We're back to the house of Zion. Back to number 6. Anyete Avenue, right here in the heart of East Legon. Back to Zed 101.9 FM. Back to Zed in the morning. I'm Jerry Home. Yeah, need any reminder? I am Jerry Home, captaining this one from now all through to 5 to 10. 5 minutes to 10, that is. It's a 4-hour journey, people. In the first hour of the show, we bring you the news headlines and review a couple of them. That will take us to 10 minutes to 7. Zed Sports comes up. Zed Sports brings us to 7 on the dot. At 7 a.m. is business news. Zed Business. That brings us into the second hour of the show, which we call the Top Story Hour. We'll pick a top trending story and bring you various angles to that story. That takes us to 5 minutes to 8. Business Briefs is a mini lecture, is a mini MBA on wheels. NBA in the morning commute. That brings us to 8 and into the third hour of the show. Into the space we call Zed Talk. Here today on Z Talk, we begin a personal finance series. Mr. Kingsley Ajenku Hayford, chartered accountant, chartered tax advisor, insolvency practitioner, and investment banker will be joining us at 8 a.m. for a personal finance series right here on Z Talk. That's from 8 a.m. That will take us to 5 minutes to 9. Customer service and experience moment. There's your customer service and experience lecture. Another mini lecture for you. Tidbits to help you create that sizzling experience for your customers. Then that brings us to the last hour of the show. Today's a Tuesday. You know what Tuesdays are? Health and Wellness Tuesdays. On health and wellness, diabetes. Dr. Christian Akpan from the University of Ghana Medical Center would also be joining us. Keep your dial right here. We're talking diabetes in the last hour of the show. And a few minutes before 10, we'll be signing out. So that's the game plan, people. It's going to be an exciting Tuesday. We're back after a long weekend. Hope it's been restful for you. You ready for the show? Strap on your seatbelts and let's take the show before God.
Say, hey, I know him. Do you know him?
God that we serve. Charlie no go ya we. This God that we serve. And that's a nice way to start your Tuesday, people. Hope you're nodding your head on your way to work this morning. Charlie, if you're on your feet, please dance. Yeah, dance to it, people. This God that we serve. It's a Tuesday morning. Yes, this God that we serve. Yes, it's 6:30, so let's get into the news. Half past 6. Mr. Daku, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Well, how was your long weekend? What were you doing? You went to chase some sunlight rice?
Oh, long weekend, yeah, long weekend at least. For the first time in a long while, I didn't come to work on a Sunday, so at least I had a Sunday and Saturday to myself for this particular weekend. Yeah,
it's a good one.
So
it's a good one.
I can't.
Hope you've rested well enough.
Yeah, the long weekend applied to me because I had Sunday too. But yesterday I was here.
I was still
actually working, so that the paper can be, the new finder can be on the newsstand.
So let's go
for the
what's a big
public to have. The new finder. We start the day with the new finder. And the big one says, choose policies, ideas, and solutions. On December 7th, to solve our problem, that's Dr. Baumia speaking at the celebration of Eid al-Adha, the big event for all Muslims across the world. He was speaking at the event at the Independence Square as the president was out of the country. The transport minister is advocating for robust public transport system in Africa to ensure that movement of human beings and goods can take place easily to ensure that the integration becomes stronger and after also becomes very, very effective to help everybody. National Lotteries Authority granted historic observer status by the European Lotteries Association, and Ghana has made another inroad by securing a seat on Shelter Afrique Bank board so that we can actually secure funds to support housing projects in the country. That is the new finder this morning.
Okay, I have with me the Ghanaian Times, and the big story here is 2024 polls not about religion. Veep admonishes and shows a picture of the Vice President Baumia expressing felicitations to the National Chief Imam Sheikh Nuhu Sharubutu. That's the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Also, let's pray for peace, success of upcoming election. That's from the ex-president Mahama. And then GHS suspends Winneba. That's Ghana Health Service suspends Winneba Trauma Specialist Hospital Medical Director over death of patient in Bush. And the last story on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, Great Coal ECG announced 3-week power supply interruptions.
The Chronicle, Dami versus Jakpa, fireworks expected in court today. Ghana joins Shelter Afrique Development Bank Board. Oforesiama wants robust transport system for Africa. And the big one says, Kumasi traders to Baumia, Frema Opare is the ideal candidate to help break the eighth. That is the Chronicle.
Okay, I have here the Daily Guide, and the big story on the front page of the Daily Guide, another picture of Dr. Mahamudu Baumia greeting Sheikh Osman Nuhu Sharubutu. 2024 elections, vote on ideas, policies. That's Baumia. And then Africa, greatest victim of Ukraine-Russia war, says Nana Adodan Kwaku, the president, and he's here shaking hands with President Zelensky. There are other stories on the front page of the Daily Guide. 2.37 million euro ambulance case. Court throws out at Forsen. Adenta and MPPPC to sponsor 5,000 BEC candidates with a picture of Akusha Menu here. And NLA gets European Lotteries Observer membership. It shows a picture of Samia Uku with EL President Romana Giradon. And then CRM, Blue Ocean dispatches cylinders to exchange points. That's the front page of the Daily Guide.
The daybreak. Let's serve with sacrifice. Baumia urges Muslims to be inspired by Abraham's example. CRM ready as Blue Ocean dispatches cylinders to exchange points. And the big story says Winnipeg Trauma Hospital justifies cruelty, claims abandoned patient was declared well and discharged. That is the Daybreak newspaper.
Okay, I have here the Daily Statesman. The big story here. Your appeal holds no water. Court of Appeal throws out at Folsom. That's a big story on the front page of the Daily Statesman. And Ghana secures seat on Shelter Afrique Development Bank Board. Another story here. Minister calls for robust African transport system. And CTAC strike described as illegal. And Puzuri Group, ICOR partner to improve crop yields. That's the front page of the Daily Statesman.
The Daily Dispatch, the big story says, breaking the 8th. We have MPP supporters, not Ken or Baumia supporters. Kennedy Ejipon speaking. Youth advised to know their sickle cell status before falling in love. Continue writing entrance exams for promotion. Court tells chief inspectors of police. And cylinder recirculation distribution intensifies as cylinders are dispatched through exchange points. That is the Daily Dispatch.
Okay, and I have here the anchor. Angry residents threaten demo against Newmont over community mining project. And then Dumso stalled ECG's debt collection exercise manager reveals. Former workers of BCM Ghana to petition Shraj over alleged injustice. And the last story here, abandoned patient in Bush saga. Otiko recommends severe lashing of medical officers implicated. Says this nonsense must stop.
The BNFT, upcoming harvest, global development to further ease inflation. Teachers have highest cancer prevalence as Nat Cancer Foundation targets 17.2 million annual intervention. African leaders charged to address biases in global economic order. And EU alleges fraud in local pineapple export. That is the BNFT.
Okay, and I have here the new crusading guide. Court of Appeal throws out at Folsom. There's a lead story here. Baumia's campaign strategy dazes NDC. Paul Chumberima declares trip down memory lane. There's an SFO Yoko 2002 investigative report on SNIT and DIC on state hotels, etc. Part 1. Former workers of BCM Ghana to petition Shraj over injustice against them. Comta Mines enhances small-scale mining with advanced machinery. These are the front page stories of the new crusading guide.
My last paper is Daily Post. Business community rallies to support Mahama at fundraising dinner. Demo to stop the sale of SNIT hotels for peanuts by NPP government. Today is the demo. Lordina Mahama calls for unity within the NDC as party prepares for the 2024 elections. These are some of the stories on the front page of the Daily Post.
Okay, so let me go online and pick a number of them. On citynewsroom.com, current economic difficulties are global, not peculiar to Ghana. That's from Dr. Mahamudu Baumia. And then on myjoyonline.com, the homepage, mandatory health insurance for visitors still under review, says Health Minister. Other stories, protest against sale of SNIT hotels comes off today. And then call of strike, Health Ministry appeals to medical laboratory workers. And then let's go international. Pick something from bbc.com. Putin praises Kim for firmly supporting war in Ukraine ahead of North Korea visit. Putin praises Kim. So the Russian leader is making his first trip to North Korea in more than 24 years. And he's praising the North Korean leader for supporting the war in Ukraine. Other stories on the homepage of BBC.com. China should pay for propping up Putin's war. That's from the NATO chief, Jens Stoltenberg. He tells the BBC China that should face cost for supporting Russia's war. And another story here has to do with Ian McLean's in good spirits after falling off stage during performance. So say Ian fell and is better now. So these are the stories making rounds across the country and across the globe. Mr. Dakon.
Yes, I will start with the big event over the weekend, which is the Eid. The very big event that happened across the world. And in Ghana, it was also very big in Ghana. And we congratulate all our Muslim brothers and sisters for going through the 1 month fasting and prayer, going to Mecca to complete the process, and have come home successfully to join those who were not able to go to celebrate the big event. And that is where I start from. Choose policies, ideas, solutions. Vice President Mahamadou Bawumia of the And then they went to Mecca to complete the process. And on return from Mecca, we had the Eid al-Adha, which is a sacrifice, which Abraham did in the Bible. And they just so we answer, please, if you are listening to me, please listen from beginning to end. Don't go and take the last end and leave the beginning. So as
exactly.
So for me, the message is spot on, and therefore we shouldn't be looking at people's tribes, religion.
Would we heed the message?
This is the question.
Would we heed it?
Looking at voting patterns in Ghana, you ask yourself whether these messages that we are being given, whether we even actually really interrogate them well and vote on them. Because clearly, if you look at our voting patterns, that region will vote massively. People are of the view that, look, people should just look at the policies and vote. I say, okay, if you look at all over the world,
but globally,
they are everywhere.
There are swing states and blue and red states.
Irrespective of the policies that the party has, they stick to their party. So this issue of us voting on issues like this is important. But if you look around the world, you clearly look at the question and say, but are we alone? Because if in the most advanced countries, when elections are coming, everybody knows where this party is going to win and this party is going to win.
As a matter of fact,
major countries around the world.
As a matter of fact, there are parties that are built on tribes and clans and the rest. So I mean,
so it's something.
It's a good call.
It's a good call. It's a good call, and I think that we must hit it. But however, globally, every party has its own stronghold, irrespective of the policies it presents. Whether you may think that this particular policy should not be a policy issue, or this one you don't agree, but the stronghold of that political party will vote for the party irrespective of the policy that you are critiquing. And I think that we as a people should begin to also ask, this stronghold, is this the best for us? Or do we push this idea of forget about your association with the party, forget about the ideology you believe in, just look at only the policies and vote for it? And I think that this call is very important, and all of us should also listen and share that when I'm voting for a candidate, I'm voting for something that I believe that when it is done, Ghana will make progress. And that is the first story I will want to touch on in today's paper.
I think our seat on the Shelter Africa Development Bank Board is a story worth looking at.
Very important.
Yeah, very important.
That is a very important.
And it's a page 9 story of the new finder. So get yourself a copy of the new finder. Ghana has secured a seat on the board of directors of the Shelter Africa Development Bank following a successful bid at the 43rd annual general meeting held in Kigali, Rwanda on June 13th, 2024. This significant achievement positions Ghana as one of the 6 countries entrusted with steering the affairs of the Pan-African boards, Pan-African Housing Finance and Development Institution. For Ghana, this new board seat is a testament to the country's commitment to addressing its housing deficit. Currently, Ghana faces a significant housing shortfall with demand far outstripping supply, particularly in urban areas. Yeah, so I mean, that's a solid one.
Yeah, so if we find it there, it means that right now we are one step ahead of our peers who are not there. And therefore, if we have very good programs and policies and we want to push for funding from such institutions, since we are on the board, we will know what strings to pull in order to get some support.
But this also means that then in this tenor of us being on the seat or being on the board, right, we would judge how successful our being on the board has been when the tenor is over, to see if it affected even one house, one single room.
Yeah, of course, because if you have the opportunity to sit on such a board, first of all, there is money you can help the country secure to do a project. 2, there's a lot of lessons, there are a lot of lessons based on the work that the board has done. And you can actually come across a lot of literature, a lot of what other countries are proposing to the institution that they want to do to solve their housing problem. So it offers you the opportunity to know that this country is approaching solutions to housing in this way. This country is using this strategy. And then you can also look at what they are all doing and ask yourself, probably you may want to adopt some of the things that others are doing to help solve your problem, because now you have access to any proposal that they will present to the institution seeking support for funding to do something. And therefore, you can actually have a wide range of strategies different countries are actually using to solve their housing problems, and probably adopt some of the innovative ones that you can also bring back to Ghana to enable you to do something significant. Probably it may even change the ideas, strategies, and focus that we as a country have, probably because after looking at what all others are doing, you may realize certain deficit in the way we may be approaching them. Probably that knowledge and that information may now help us to actually be able to deliver the affordable housing, because we have always said that we are all housing projects in this country we are calling affordable. If we say that it's targeted at the people who cannot afford housing, it's really not affordable to them, because the amounts involved, even if they use their entire working life salary to pay for it, they still can't pay for those houses by the time they retire. And therefore, it is really not affordable. And therefore, I think that sitting on that board brings us a lot of benefits. And I only hope that we as a country and the minister can take advantage of this opportunity and then come up with those kind of smart ways others are doing it, probably even at a cheaper price than we are doing it, and help actually bring about certain solutions that we can resolve. Clearly, housing is a major problem, and there's no doubt about it. Anybody listening to us today will know that if you wake up this morning and say you are looking for a place to rent in Accra, it's a hassle.
It is.
This is a hassle, These boys who tell you that they will take you to go, they know places where they will take you to about 5 places, and all the places you go to, you realize that no, it's either it's not affordable to you, or the location and the road to the place. You have so many challenges, and the price of housing, Jerry, is just something we have to look at. You go to a place that is, let me say, it's not even near Accra, okay? Let's say you are on all the way on the Fienya Road, and you go and people are quoting about 3,000 cedis for a 2-bedroom apartment for you. The question is, how much is your salary to be able to afford 3,000 cedis a month as rent for a 2-bedroom apartment? But they tell you that, oh, but haven't you checked the cost of housing? Have you checked the price of raw materials being used for housing? Yeah. If we are able to buy all these things to put up a house,
have you bought a bag of cement before?
That's the point, and it's true. The bag of cement now, the last time I checked, some places it's as much as 100 cedis per bag. Okay, as much as 100. I was having a conversation with somebody that he said when he started his house in 2003, a bag of cement was 15 cedis. Okay, and 15 cedis from 2003. We are in 2024. Let's say 20 years period, and it is 100 cedis now. Look at the increase in the price of just cement alone, and look at iron rods. And so, for me, I think that we must all look at this opportunity and say, we pray the minister takes advantage of the opportunities, and that we can improve our housing situation in Ghana. No matter what it is, we have to. And I'm touched by this story that teachers have highest cancer prevalence in Ghana. And that is
it's a story that needs further interrogation.
It's really scary for me to say the teachers.
No, I mean it's a story that would have to investigate
further. With their small salary, then if you have a cancer, how are you able to address cancer with this small salary? It's 10 minutes
to the top of the hour. Thank you very much, Mr. Elvis Daku, for passing through. We'll interrogate the teachers and cancer story further. Also, it's 10 minutes to 7. Jonathan Binzwa is here with Zed Sports.
Here's Mensah, this is positive. Williams, Kudus! The Korean joy did not last for long.
Oh my gosh, Kudus, the piranha from Guyana.
Good morning, sports fans. Rise and shine with all the latest action from the world of sports. Let's dive into the show that makes the world of sports. My name is Jonathan Binzwa. FC Samatex were officially crowned champions of the 2023-2024 Ghana Premier League season on Sunday after securing another win on the final day of the competition. The Samurai Boy Bay side secured their maiden league title with 2 games to spare after a decisive victory over BBN Gold Stars on match day 32. This was remarkable given the fact that they were only playing in their second season of the top flight of the Ghana Premier League. And by their historical feat achieved, Samatex will receive 500,000 for clinching their first Ghana Premier League title. In addition to the trophy and medals, the champions were awarded 500,000, an increase from 300,000 given to last season champions Mediama FC. Teams finishing in the top 10 also receive monetary rewards. Giants like Asante Kotoko finishing 6th will receive 60,000. However, former champions Hearts of Oak narrowly escaping relegation by finishing 14th will receive no prize money. Accra Lions finishing 2nd will receive 200,000. Third place Brekum Chelsea will get 100,000, and 4th place Adriana Stars will receive 8,000. Kumasi Asante Kotoko is set to release goalkeeper Ibrahim Danlad. Per report, clubs like Nswateremai and BBN Gold Stars are interested in the Kumasi Asante Kotoko goalkeeper. Hearts of Oak coach Abubakar Ouattara has urged fans to expect changes and a little challenge next season. Fans of the Hearts and Phobian family were unhappy after the match against Bichim United, expressing their displeasure by booing the players, even though Hearts of Oak managed a 3-2 victory This win ensured Hearts of Oak survival in the Ghana Premier League, preventing their first ever relegation from the top division. However, the Ivorian coach remains positive, urging fans to compete and also expect significant changes in the upcoming season's recruitment. He reassures our fans should look forward to our recruitment ahead of next season. We will change so many things. We will battle for the league title for next season and not relegation.
To look and we are recruitment, we are coming. It's normal. We will change some things. We have changed so many things. And the next season we are playing for the league. We don't come there to play for the back on the league.
That's Ivorian coach Abubakar Ouattara, the skipper, the coach for Hearts of Oak. CK Akono backs Mohamed Kudus as potential cornerstone and key player for the Black Stars. Still in the camp of the Ghanaian forward, Mohamed Kudus has highlighted Dutch-born Ghanaian defender Jeremy Frimpong as the potential breakout star of the 2024 European Championship. Let's do some stories in Africa. The Malian Football Federation, FEMAFOOT, has announced the termination of Eric Shakushel contract as the coach of the national team with immediate effect. The decision was made by mutual agreement, according to the press release signed by FEMAFOOT president on Thursday. Shell's departure follows a series of disappointing results, including a quarter-final exit at the 2023 African Cup of Nations and recent draw against 10-man Madagascar in the 2026 World Cup qualification. The final blow came after a 1-2 loss to Ghana Black Stars at home last week at the Stade du Mars in Bamako, which led to calls for his resignation. Just after 2 games, the Nigerian Football Federation also sacks Finidi George, another coach being sacked on the continent. We move straight into the Euros. The tournament kick-started on Friday with the Germans, the host nation, beating Scotland by 5-1. The Scottish captain John McGinn has something to tell the media. You will see a different Scotland against Switzerland on Monday. Midfielder John McGinn has pledged after opening Euro 2024 with a crushing defeat by host Germany. A huge traveling support could not inspire the Scotch in Munich as they fell to a 5-1 loss. Switzerland joined the Germans on a 3-point after a 3-1 over Hungary. It doesn't take a genius to work out where it went wrong for the Scottish national team, said by John McGinn. Also still at the Euros, Slovakia caused an upset in their Group E opener against the Belgians in a chaotic encounter in Frankfurt. Belgium 0 and goal from France. Slovakian skipper 1, giving them the 3 points in their opener. Romania recorded their first victory at the European Championship in 24 years with a stunning win over Ukraine in Group E. Romania 3, Ukraine 0 over there yesterday. And also yesterday night, Kylian Mbappe, French side, had a hard-fought victory over Austria. Kylian Mbappe could be out for 10 days with a fractured nose. He could be out for the rest of the group stages for the Euro 2024. And UEFA have banned Scotland defender Ryan Porteous for 2 games at Euro 2024 after his red card versus Germany. It has been deemed a series of rough play. Today's games and the Euro 2024 are Turkey will be going on against Georgia exactly 4 p.m. and also Cristiano Ronaldo and Roberto Martinez, Portugal, will be facing Czech Republic at 7 p.m. One story from the English Premier League is the Premier League 2024-2025 season fixtures to be released at 9 a.m. today. So that's all for sports on Z101.9. Mr. Jerry, I can see you are happy, smiling when I mentioned about the German shaft having, a thumping victory over the Scottish national team. 5-1 victory. You predicted last week that they are your favorite because of the Madrid star in the team, Tony Cruz.
Definitely. This is Tony's last tournament, so for us, we're all excited. Every Madridista who is a true Madridista is happy for Tony Cruz. But the Euros, I spent the whole weekend watching every single match. I enjoyed it. That's what I used my game. Every single game. Didn't miss a minute. Anytime it was time, I was there, working, watching, and all that. And I think the French haven't come to the party yet, but they will. They will.
Yesterday they had a victory. Hard-fought one.
It was hard fought, but that's what I'm saying. They will. They will eventually come to the party, and when they come,
also N'Golo Kante.
yeah,
Back in the national team,
N'Golo was
all
massive.
over the pitch.
I mean, that last minute tackle to deny a goal opportunity. N'Golo is well deserved. It's well deserved that he's back. I, as a Madridista, wasn't too excited that Chouameni, Kamavinga were on the bench. Yeah, and then but watching N'Golo, he saved them. Yeah, yesterday he saved them. But I think the Slovaks are also a team to watch. They're a team to watch. They will pull some surprises. But this Euros tells you that, listen, it doesn't matter what
the three Lions of England to Jude Bellingham.
I of course, I said
the Serbians.
A Madrid player is lifting the trophy.
Sure.
So if you have a country without a Real Madrid player, they are out by the first round. I can assure you.
Player Croatia with Luka Modric, lost
terribly. But the fact was that they were playing against another Madrid team, So it's quite important. We hope the very best for all of them. Let's see how it goes. But have you realized the number of Ghanaians in the Euros?
Yes.
Tomorrow we should discuss that.
We have to
look at the number of Ghanaians. As a matter of the one who broke in
Kojodua for Switzerland.
Scored an amazing goal. So
Kojodua.
Let's see how it goes. I mean, thank you so much, Binzua, for coming through with the sports. Coming up, it's 7 a.m. with business with still Abdullah Saka with Zed Business right here on Zed in the Morning.
Williams, Kudos, the Korean joy did not last for long.
Oh my gosh, Kudos, the piranha from Guyana.
It's your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Hey there, it is time for the business news segment here on Zed in the Morning. I am Saka Abdullahi. Coming up, CEO of Stanchart Ghana encourages women to build knowledge and expertise. World Bank boosts Ghana's economy with increased financial support. And elsewhere, Apple scraps pay later loan scheme. Let's delve in. The Chief Executive Officer of the Standard Chartered Bank PLC, Mrs. Mansa Nete, has emphasized the valuable contributions women bring to leadership roles, citing their unique and progressive perspectives. Speaking to young women entrepreneurs, she encouraged them to invest in themselves, become more visible, and deliver exceptional results. Mrs. Nete, who is the immediate past president of the Ghana Association of Banks, noted that Standard Chartered Ghana had made significant progress in promoting women's participation in leadership despite initial challenges. She advised the young businesswomen to build a strong foundation of knowledge and expertise to scale heights in their careers.
It is a proven fact that women bring different and progressive perspectives to any leadership group in which they're involved in. I've seen it myself at both junior and senior leadership levels. I can proudly say that Standard Chartered is getting increasingly better because we have deliberately worked on promoting the participation of women in our bank. But getting here hasn't been easy. We started by building a foundation of highlighting the need for females to invest in themselves and become more visible. We owe it to ourselves to always put our best foot forward and deliver at the highest levels and open doors for other women. We also need to build a wealth of knowledge, as you will not be able to scale the heights without expertise and experience behind you. Let's also strive to see the opportunities inherent in challenges. I have often said that those who look beyond the challenges will discover the great opportunities that can propel them to the next level. I also believe that finding your purpose remains key. By finding your purpose, mapping out your career, and aspiring for more, you might even surprise yourself when the opportunities come your way.
Mrs. Nete further emphasized the importance of women's leadership, women's participation in leadership, highlighting their ability to bring diverse perspectives and drive progress.
You should look beyond your technical capabilities and take on other responsibilities if you're looking to reinvent yourself. I used to be a pharmacist and I'm in banking. As women, we sometimes wait to be asked, but I urge you to take the initiative and take the bull by the horn. You need to have an unwavering determination and sheer resilience to turn every new challenge into a fulfilling experience. Your career is in your hands, and you have the power to mold it the way you want. Remember that. You should be committed to continuous learning and seek out self-advancing opportunities. Embracing continuous learning will allow you to stay ahead in a rapidly changing world and adapt new challenges effortlessly. I encourage you to be ambitious, articulate your aspirations clearly, and pursue your dreams without fear. In times like these, it's important not to let self-doubt and imposter thoughts creep in to shake your confidence. Be courageous and authentic. Be real. Be comfortable in your own skin. Put up your hand in spite of the flood of excuses that your mind will throw at you. I can assure you that there are very few mistakes you can make that will be career threatening. Rather, like a muscle exercised constantly and intentionally, you will grow and build your confidence each time you dare to take a risk. Trust me, you need that confidence and firm resolve to navigate choppy waters.
That was the CEO of the Standard Chartered Bank Ghana PLC, Mrs. Mansanete. Away from that, the World Bank has announced a significant increase in financial assistance to Ghana, aiming to enhance the performance of critical sectors in the country's economy. The institution has pledged a total of $264 million to support Ghana's energy sector and mitigate the impact of the climate crisis. On June 12, 2024, the World Bank approved a $250 million credit from the International Development Association and a $10 million grant from the Energy Sector Management Assistance Program. The funds will support the 4-year Ghana Energy Sector Recovery Program for results aimed at improving the financial viability of electricity distribution and increasing access to clean cooking solutions. The project seeks to address the high electricity distribution losses in Ghana resulting from a low collection rate and below-cost recovery tariffs. The losses have undermined the operational and financial performance of the energy utilities in the country. This recent announcement follows a previous approval in May 2024, where the World Bank granted a $250 million IDA credit for a 5-year Ghana Financial Stability Project. The increased support demonstrates the World Bank's commitment to supporting Ghana's economic growth and development. Now, onto the financial markets. The Ghanaian financial markets closed last week with a negative outlook as 3 markets experienced declines, reflecting broader economic challenges. In government securities, the market saw a slight undersubscription. The government secured 4.8 billion cedis against a target of 4.9 billion, resulting in a 1.36% shortfall. This undersubscription was primarily attributed to a decline in demand for treasury bills. The cedi exhibited a weakening trend against the major currencies, including the US dollar, the euro, and pound sterling. The Ghana Stock Exchange faced challenges as well, with its benchmark index recording a dip. Tessa Capital brings you in-depth analysis of trading for last week.
Good morning, and welcome to a recap of the markets, brought to you by Tessa Capital Limited. Investor demand for treasury bills waned compared to the prior week's auction. The government secured 4.8 billion cedis against a target of 4.9 billion cedis, resulting in an undersubscription rate of 1.36%. All bids for the 91-day, 182-day, and 364-day treasury bills were fully accepted during last Friday's auction. The yield on the 91-day bill fell by 17 basis points to settle at 24.87%, while yields on the 182-day and 364-day bills decreased by 11 basis points, clearing at 26.83% and 27.82% respectively. Trading volumes on the Ghana fixed income markets decreased by 2.3% to 2.26 billion cedis in the just ended week. Treasury bills dominated trading activity, accounting for 64.62% of the total volume traded. The Ghana cedi weakened in the week under review against the USD, GBP, and the Euro. The cedi depreciated by 1.05% against the USD, 0.72% against the GBP, and 0.03% against the Euro. The cedi closed the week trading at mid-rates of 14 cedis 30 pesos to the dollar, 18 cedis 13 pesos to the pound, and 15 cedis 29 pesos to the euro. Indicative rates from the open market showed the cedi closing at a mid-rate of 14 cedis 87 pesos to the dollar, 18 cedis 93 pesos to the pound, and 15 cedis 94 pesos to the euro. The Ghanaian stock market saw a dip in its benchmark index during the review period. The GSE Composite Index decreased by 0.13%, driven by a decline in GGBL's share price that offset gains in Atlantic Lithium, GCB, BOP, Societe Generale, Total, and SCB. The index ended the week at 3,767.27 points, with a year-to-date return of 20.35%. Trading activity, as reflected by trading volumes, increased over the period. A total of 1,964,051 shares were exchanged, with a transaction value of 12.34 million cedis, representing 62.38% rise in trading volumes as compared to the previous week. We expect the financial stocks and ICT to drive the performance of the index in the week ahead. This brings our review to an end, and from all of us at Tessa Capital, make it a great day. Visit us online at tessacapital.com or call us on 050-154-6859 for more information. Tessa Capital, grow your wealth.
Tessa Capital is a leading financial institution in Ghana, and we thank them for those updates. Now, on the international front, Apple is ending its in-house buy now, pay later scheme in the US, which it launched just last year. The technology giant says it will now offer customers payment plans through third-party credit and debit card lenders. Existing borrowers will be able to continue managing payments using Apple's Wallet app. The decision marks a retreat for Apple from plans to offer traditional financial services. Apple Pay Later users in the US could break up the cost of purchases worth up to $1,000 into 4 installments over 6 weeks without having to pay interest or fees. The scheme represented a move into providing financial services, with Apple effectively offering customer loans instead of resorting to banks and other traditional lenders. That is all we have for business news this morning, but a recap of the top stories before we go. CEO of Tanchart Ghana encourages women to build knowledge and expertise. World Bank boosts Ghana's economy with increased financial support, and elsewhere, Apple scraps pay later loan scheme. I am Saka Abdullah. Jerry Ham continues with the show.
It's your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Zed 101.9 FM.
Memories feel the laughter, moments that live forever.
Get ready to elevate your lifestyle with the all-new Broom Black series, where innovation meets elegance.
Remember the smiles, the warmth you share.
From state-of-the-art TV.
second hour of the show. This is Top Story Hour. In Top Story today, the mandatory health insurance policy for non-resident visitors. Launched, about to be implemented, effective 1st July. Then on the 18th of June, there's a statement on mandatory health insurance policy for non-resident visitors coming from the Ministry of Health, signed by the Honorable Dr. Bernard Okoboy, the Minister of Health. What's going on? Was it a policy or just a proposal? Proposal with a date of implementation? Yeah, there are some questions that we want to ask in that space. Yeah, so that's Top Story. Yeah, but before we do Top Story, let's get you some announcements. So it's said that we are all in tough times. The complaints are more. We're in tough times. We're in tough times. That is why people always say that if it is that tough, then importantly, when you're spending money, you should spend money and spend money well. Why? Because if you're going to spend money that is not on a trusted brand, then we're in trouble, which is why you want to buy trusted and time-tested brands that a majority endorses when making a purchase. When it comes to water storage tanks in Ghana, there is only one name. There is only one name when it comes to water storage tanks in Ghana, and that name is Polytank. It's been with us for over 30 years. It's been trusted by all generations. Polytank is the first. Polytank is the best. Polytank is certainly the original. So whenever you think of storing water, make no mistake, go for guaranteed quality. Choose Polytank. Polytank near Papa Nunier. Polytank does not request for Momo payment online. So please, if you purchase in a Polytank, please be very sure before you send Momo online. That is Polytank for you. It has been trusted, which is why every other brand calls themselves Polytank. Even the customer knows it, that it is all Polytank. Polytank near Papa Nunier. People know that if it is Polytank, then you're sure that this. Someone said Polytank is so good, it is no more something you use at home or it's a tank. It's become a relative. Why? Because you can bequeath it to somebody else. Anyway, that's just by the way. So Polytank, the original, certainly the very best. Also imagine a place that is so well designed, a place that is so well architectured, a neighborhood that is serene, a neighborhood that is so safe, a neighborhood that makes you feel neighborly. That is what we're talking about, and this is not fiction. Why? Because it is real. Yes, you can go walk the place, you can go find the place, you can walk the streets that are lined with trees, you can lift your head and look at the beautiful Libre Mountains. It is happening right here in this very country of ours. All these are provided by your number one leading private real estate company of the year, Lakeside Estate. Lakeside Estate is giving you the golden opportunity to become a homeowner at the Lakeside Hills. Yes, Lakeside Hills, a place so safe and secure you get a sense of calm and ease, fostering a family-friendly neighborhood. Lakeside Hills comes with various house types just so that you and your family's budget are met. You get 2 bedrooms detached standard, 2 bedrooms detached deluxe, 3 bedrooms detached, 3 bedrooms detached with boys quarters, and 4 bedroom story executive. To book a viewing and sales assistance, these are the numbers to call. Are you ready? It's okay. Save these numbers: 0204 775 040, 0204 775 040, or 0501 418 622, 0501 418 622, or 0204 775 042, 0204 775 042. These are numbers that you want to call if you want to book a viewing or you want an assistance with sales. Also, you can visit lakesideestate.com. Alternatively, you can follow them on social media. Their handle on all social media platforms is at Lakeside underscore estate, at Lakeside underscore estate for more details. Life is beautiful at Lakeside Hills, where you can live your best life. This has been brought to you by Lakeside Estate, your 3 times winner of the CIMG Real Estate Company of the Year and the Greater Overall Real Estate Company of the Year 2023. That is Lakeside Estate, bringing you Lakeside Hills. Yeah, you can enjoy the best shows on lifestyle, leisure, and business right here on Z101.9 FM at the very best LLB, your LLB radio, lifestyle, leisure, and business is here on Z101.9 FM, which is why every morning, yes, at 5 a.m., make sure your dial is here right when you wake up. Why? Because morning blessings comes your way with Pastor Joshua NST, Mondays to Fridays, right here on Z101.9 FM. Morning blessings with Pastor Joshua NST. He brings you into the presence of God, starts your day right, and then he hands you over to Living Word with Dr. Mensa Otabil, 5:30 a.m. daily, Mondays to Fridays. Living Word with Dr. Mensa Otabil is here. Yes, it's here. Z101.9 FM. Living Word also hands you over at 5 to the hour of 6 to Zed in the Morning. Yes, when yours truly comes through, we are unraveling the headlines that shape our world every morning. You want to stay informed, you want to stay empowered. It's right here on Zed in the Morning. That's why your dial is here. Yes, with Jerry Hum and his gang. Yes, and then we take you all through to about 5 to 10, and then we hand you over to the brighter side with NYA The Brand. Mondays to Fridays, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. NYA The Brand brings you amazing music and important information just to ensure that your brunch, your late lunch, your late breakfast, whichever one you're having, it digests as well. Yes, it digests well. That's NY The Brand coming your way with the brighter side right here on Z101.9 FM. Also, tune in Mondays to Fridays, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Mondays to Fridays on Highway 1019. Get on the highway 1019 with Oforioyo in Gozibuatin and the team as they bring you amazing music, wonderful information to take you home, putting a smile on your face after a hard day's work. Highway 1019, that is right here on Z101.9 FM. Also, your weekends are sorted out because on Saturdays, every Saturday at 8 a.m., time with Professor Stephen Adai comes your way. Z101.9 FM. Yes, we have the man. Professor Stephen Adai comes your way every Saturday, 8 a.m., and he gives you abundant living. Gives you abundantly living nuggets that will make your life worth living. Then on Sundays, 2 amazing shows just to remind you. Sundays at 6 a.m. all through to 10 a.m. It's Z Gospel Groove with DDM every Sunday. He comes your way with the best in gospel music. DDM starts you off in the presence of God, takes you to church and brings you back. Z Gospel Groove with David Dakwa Mensah, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then right after David is done, David hands over to Country Express with the legend, the man they call the King of Country, Tommy Annan Forson, TF, Sundays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then, so after church, you want to relax with some good country music, Country Express with Tommy Annan Forson. Then also on Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., he comes twice because he does it so nice. He's here with Country Express, good country music, Sundays and Wednesdays, right here on Z101.9 FM. Yes, so it's top story. Mandatory health insurance policy for non-resident visitors. Is it a policy? Because the thing is going to be unveiled in the 1st of July. So, I mean, who is saying what? At a media briefing, the modalities of the policy before it's rolled out were actually given to the media. So what are we saying concerning this? Is it real? Is it happening? Is it not happening? Who is taking us for a ride? Whatever it is, we need to get into the bottom of the story. But before that, if you're still in a mood for a holiday, yes, Madonna takes you through that. portals, which said that the Ministry of Health will implement a national health insurance policy for foreigners visiting Ghana for short periods starting July 1st. Will implement starting July 1st. So we've less than 2 weeks to go, right? Initially, the policy would target non-resident foreigners visiting the country for less than 6 months within 12 months, right? And it's been developed in collaboration with the National Health Insurance Authority and other partners. The policy even has a name. The policy is named National Non-Resident Visitors Health Insurance. There was a media engagement ahead of its implementation, right? And this was in June. Right, June. Key stakeholders, including the Ministry of Health, MOH, National Health Insurance Authority, and the Ghana Immigration Service, were involved. The policy aligns with the NHIA's Act 2012, Act 852, which mandates the provision of quality and accessible health care for both residents and non-residents in Ghana under a national health insurance scheme to ensure equitable access to health services. So there is an act to back this. Right, and then the story goes on and said the policy comprises 6 tiers based on the duration of stay in the country. It targets foreigners with visas, and provisions are in place for those requiring visas on arrival, I must say, to ensure they are included in the scheme. Right. However, ECOWAS members are currently excluded as measures are being developed to incorporate them into the scheme in the future. So, and then the Ministry of Health, under the leadership of Dr. Ajimendia as Health Minister, launched the policy in February 2024. He indicated that the scheme will be the main vehicle for the delivery of robust healthcare services to non-residents who will be traveling to Ghana, taking into consideration the peculiar characteristics and the nature of the NNRVHIS. A special purpose arrangement may be required to minimize the potential for risk. So the thing had a plan, it had an implementation date, it was set to go. And this story I'm reading is actually on, let's see the date on the online portal. This is June 14th. So June 14th, this one comes up. This one comes up on the 14th of June. Then let's go to another story, and this one is from graphic.com. Yes, let's go there. Graphic said that is June 17th. People, bear with me. I need to get all the timelines right. June 17th, this side leads to this beautiful story of, the beautiful picture of our Minister of Health. And then he said from July 1st, 2024, non-resident visitors arriving in Ghana will be required to have a health insurance policy before entry into Ghana. And then it also goes on and on and on and on and on. So the first one was June 14th. This one is June 17th, right? Then, on the 18th of June, there's a letter I have here, which is dated 18th of June, and it's on the letterhead of the Ministry of Health, and it's signed by Honorable Dr. Bernard Okoboy, Minister of Health. It is said, I'm going to read a full statement for you. Statement on mandatory health insurance policy for non-resident visitors. The Ministry of Health would like to clarify that the recent announcement regarding a mandatory health insurance policy for non-Ghanaian resident visitors is a proposal from the NHIA and not a policy of government. Oh, I don't understand. Anyway, while the proposal aims to ensure that foreign nationals have access to health care during their stay in Ghana, it is important to note that it has not been discussed. It has not yet been discussed or approved by Cabinet. We urge the public to disregard any misinformation that may suggest that the policy has been finalized and its mode of implementation settled. We assure the public that any policy and its implementation shall be thoroughly scrutinized and taken through all necessary protocols to establish its benefits for the people of Ghana before being settled on. Thank you. Sincerely, Honorable Dr. Bernard Okoboy, Minister of Health. And this is dated 8th June 2024. Now I'm confused. Now I'm very confused. So, and what even makes it more confusing is that if you're looking at the timelines, then it means that both the new NHIA boss and the new boss at the Ministry of Health have moved or shifted. One was at NHIA, one was, listen, I'm confused. I'm confused. I am very, very confused. I need some clarity in this thing. Is it a policy? Is it a suggestion? Is it a proposal? What is the reality concerning this? And if it is a policy that was going to be implemented in the next under 2 weeks, what happened for it to turn from a policy to a proposal? Or is it the media that didn't get it right? That's what I am interested in. That's the conversation I would love to have. On Top Story today, first of all, 0544321019 0544321019 as a WhatsApp line, and also at ZFMGA. That's a handle for Instagram, for Facebook, and also on X. On TikTok and YouTube, the handle is at Zed Multimedia, at Zed Multimedia. Our website is zedmultimedia.com. You want to share some thoughts with us, not only on this story but on any other matter that is bothering you, send in your comments and we'll be reading them right here on Zed in the Morning. Yes, so what is the true story behind this one? At a media briefing on the modalities of the policy, and this was in the June discussion, Dr. Isaac Morrison, Vice Chairman, Technical Working Group on the Visitors Health Insurance Scheme, a member of the NHIA board, said the move had become necessary following lessons learned from the COVID-19, where foreign nationals fell ill and the country had to take care of them as there was no insurance in place. He said the issue therefore prompted the activation of Section 2B of the NHIA Act 852, which mandates the establishment of a health insurance policy for foreigners. So how is this a proposal or a suggestion? Yeah, it's Top Story. Mr. Isaac, why? Okay, I'm ignorant, so help me. Help bring some clarity to this thing for me. First of all, the act, according to the NHIA, their act mandates them, and they actually were clear. They said Section 2B of the act mandates them to set up an insurance policy for foreigners. And then they also give you a background and say, listen, COVID time, so and so. So there is justification for this. Good. This is happening sometime in June. And then 18th June, statement on mandatory health insurance policy for non-resident visitors. He said it's a proposal.
And you see, this is what we talk about institutional memory when things are done in public institutions. This is a big exposure that the health ministry itself lacks institutional memory. First of all, this press statement did not come from only the press office. It would have gone to the directors at the ministry, all the way to the minister, to make sure that whatever that is being written is actually true before it's signed off by the minister.
Yes,
and the minister will sign it off. So you see, there's a complete failure in terms of that process the institutional memory that should have said, oh, as a ministry, this thing has already been launched. It's a shame that, it's a shame that the ministry put up a statement that contradicts what it has actually done already. See, this is why we say...
Or maybe we are talking of two totally different things.
No, the same thing. It's the same thing. You understand it? The truth is that this is not unique to Ghana. If you are traveling to many jurisdictions across the world, in the advanced countries, you must procure a health insurance.
That's what I'm saying. The justification is there.
That's what I'm saying. It's not only about Ghana alone doing
so
it.
Why is it a proposal?
So we took a cue and put it in our law that as a country we must also implement a similar thing and make sure that visitors coming to this country buy health insurance before they come. Okay, they buy health insurance before they come. A friend of mine's mother went to Germany 3-4 months ago. When I took her to the German embassy for the visa, one of the things required before you are granted a visa is for you to buy a health insurance. So she has to buy it, and she told him that when she even got to Germany, the daughter has to buy another health insurance in Germany for her. You understand it? So
Mr. Dako, help me understand. Help me understand this. How did this thing move from we are about to implement? I mean, we've launched and we're about to implement on the 1st of July to a proposal.
No, this is what I'm saying, that the Minister of Health should bow their head in shame, because clearly, even when the health insurance CEO announced this plan, he didn't even give a date that is going to start. I saw a story that was actually attributed a date to start to the minister rather. That's what I saw online.
Wow.
Yes. I don't know whether that story was actually true or not, but I can tell you, because I had the interaction with the CEO of the health insurance. He never mentioned a date. He just said that government is working to implement it. And what he said is that they learned lessons from COVID.
Yes.
That they were there and they'll be receiving calls from foreigners in the country that they are sick and they don't know which health facility to go to. And they don't have any health insurance too as well. So then some of them too don't even have money on them. So even if they go to the hospital, they couldn't pay by themselves. So then the state now have to take the burden of this. And this is why globally in all advanced countries, they have this policy that you should buy a health insurance, because when you don't have health insurance, you enter their country and there's a problem, they want to take care of you. But when you don't have the health, that means that you are now, as a foreigner, actually becoming a burden on the state to spend taxpayers' money to take care of your health, which you are not going to pay because obviously you don't have the money. And that's the same thing we want to do here. So they made it clear that because of COVID and not only COVID, other instances where foreigners come to this country, they fall sick, they are rushed to hospitals and they have no health care, health insurance, and they have no money on them. But the health system has to take care of it.
What do you think has gone on behind the scenes for this to move from policy to proposal?
No, I think that, you see, and I'm surprised because Okobo is one person that always will want to check things out. I think this one, whatever the reason is, he got it wrong. Because he was the NHS CEO as of February when this thing was launched. Dr. Okobo was the NHIA CEO. And something that has been launched and is in your act and it's your institute that's going to implement it. And now you have been moved to the ministry within 3-4 months period and you don't even remember. I know ministers have a lot on their head, but I think that with just a little check, you would have found out that, but this thing has been launched already. Because clearly, the NHS just said that they want to do it because of this kind of things. And this is how they are going to do it. They were going to assign, if you buy the health insurance policy and you enter the country, you'll be assigned a specific health facility that in case you fall sick, go here. Because then the policy would be assigned to that institution Mr. A has bought the health insurance and has been assigned to your facility. So when the person comes there, take care of the person. So they will designate, depending on which part of the country you are going to as a visitor, they will designate a particular health insurance, health facility for you to take care of you. You see, it's a crucial, and one reason they are also doing is that we are seeking to have a universal, what you call universal health coverage. Universal health coverage means that everybody within the jurisdiction should be able to have access to health care. So if you are looking for everybody in your jurisdiction to have access, it includes visitors.
Exactly.
So if you want to achieve universal health care, you must implement health insurance policy for visitors. So that anybody that comes to the country, if you claim that you have achieved 100% universal health insurance, health care, what it means is that anybody within the jurisdiction should be able to go to a hospital and have treatment anytime the person is sick. Okay, and the national insurance scheme is actually doing it for the locals. Now it means the foreigner doesn't have access if he doesn't have a health insurance policy.
And you got this information where? When?
Oh, the NHIA actually had a
media briefing?
a media interaction with selected media personnel
on this very policy.
On this very policy, just 2 weeks ago. Just 2 weeks ago.
So why is it not a proposal?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, that the minister clearly must come out and admit that they got it wrong. Because the evidence of the thing being launched by the former minister is there. So you cannot come and tell us that it's a proposal. And they say the mandatory health insurance will cover emergency medical care expenses if the traveler falls suddenly and unexpectedly ill or is involved in an accident. So it's not only sickness, but you might be a foreigner, you entered Ghana, entered a vehicle, and the vehicle has an accident. Maybe at that time, the person is not even able to talk.
Yeah.
But because the person has been assigned to a health facility, if they go into their system, they'll be able to know this person has a health insurance. So it's taken for emergency situations. And this is why, so aside the fact that we are looking for universal health coverage, we are also looking at emergency situations that visitors can fall into and may not have money on them, and for which reason it's important for them to have this insurance. Okay, so the travel medical insurance will not only provide necessary healthcare coverage for the visitor, but also support the broader goal of enhancing healthcare accessibility and quality in Ghana. The implementation of this policy underscores NHS commitment to protecting the health of all within the country's borders. The health of everybody that is within the borders of Ghana needs to be protected.
Based on what you just said,
yes,
Mr. Dako, it means that if 2 weeks ago this was what was about to happen,
yes,
then it means that they would have contacted all the health facilities and started the modal. I mean, work would have gone on for months.
That's what I'm saying. The CEO never mentioned a start date.
Okay.
He said they are working to make sure that, I think he is even saying that before the end of the year, they will be able to start something like this. You know, he actually didn't give a July 1 deadline for the thing. For me, unless he wants to go, he went to say it somewhere else. But in that interaction that I was present, he never mentioned a date.
Okay.
He explained this rationale, the reasons. He gave all these reasons and said this is why it's important that we have a health insurance for all visitors. So we're even querying him that what me, if I'm a Ghanaian and I've gone to America, I've gone to take American citizenship and I'm coming to Ghana, why should I buy that policy? Because it says for foreign. Say yes. So long as you hold nationality of another country, you are a foreigner. Okay. It doesn't matter your father or mother are Ghanaian. It doesn't matter you were born in Ghana. It doesn't matter how long you stayed in Ghana before you went to acquire somebody's nationality. The fact that you have acquired another country's nationality, you are traveling to Ghana on a foreign passport. So you are considered. So I actually had a banter with him that to me alone, I disagree with him, because if the person is a Ghanaian and has gone out there and is coming back, these people are there, they are working, they are sending remittances to their citizens, people in this country, and it's helping the economy in a way.
So as somebody who was in that meeting, when you saw this statement from the health minister saying that it was just a proposal, how did that make you feel?
No, I was shocked. I was shocked and surprised. I was shocked because we asked all the questions and the man explained. In fact, he was at the meeting with his board chairman. He was actually at the meeting with his board chairman. So and all the directors at the health. So we put all the questions we have to put to him. And we said, why now? He said, no. A lot of things have happened, especially when COVID came and all that. They learned a lot of lessons.
Okay.
And even in terms of accidents when involving foreigners and all that, a lot has happened in this country. So they think that Ghana is not the first to do it. Every advanced country you are going to, you have to buy health insurance before you go. Because it's for your own good as the person who is going there. And therefore, if you don't have any cash on you and you fall sick or you are involved in accident or whatever health care needs,
final question.
You must
final
rush
question
the hospital.
For you being there in that meeting and all that. Today, as we stand here, 18th of June, just 5 minutes to the top of the hour, we're about to do a business brief. If I have a foreign visitor coming to town today, I mean this week, what do I tell him? He needs or he doesn't need?
He doesn't need, because the modalities, even how to buy it and what process to follow has not been rolled out. Okay. And that's what the CEO said, that they will take time to come out with all those details. So they will come out with all those details to tell you that. That is why he said that After you bought it, there's a process to let them know that you have bought a health insurance, and they will assign to you and alert you that maybe you are coming to stay in around Legon. So you'll be assigned to University of Ghana Medical Hospital.
Anyway, so it's still work in progress.
Work in progress, because the modalities of how to buy it, how a hospital will be assigned to you, and how you get to know that hospital A or B has been assigned to you, those modalities have not been made public yet.
It's still
it's work in progress.
It's still
and
a
the
proposal.
one that is ready, the official announcement will be made, and the modalities will be made public for
So it's
everybody
still
to be
a proposal.
aware.
It's still a proposal.
So it can't be a proposal.
It's a proposal.
No, you see, Jerry, let's say, I said the Minister of Health immediately, they are bound to issue another statement to say, we are sorry.
We're waiting for that
We got
story.
it wrong.
We're waiting for that.
And that the thing has already been launched.
We're waiting
Maybe
for that
probably
statement.
what they wanted to say was that the thing is not rolling out because the modalities. I see, sometimes people get this they don't take time. Maybe they wanted to say that yes, the thing will be done, but the modalities about it, we are now working on it. That does not mean that I have not gone to
It's a
Cabinet
proposal.
and
It's a
approved.
proposal. It's a proposal.
No, there
Thank
is
you very much. Yes, it's money business briefs right here on Zed in the Morning on Z 101.9 FM. It's your mini MBA on wheels. Today on business briefs, 2 weeks ago we started doing marketing, and last week we also touched on marketing. Today on business briefs, we're going into another angle: sales. Yes, today's lesson is on sales. Every successful business ultimately sells what it has to offer. Having millions of prospects isn't enough if no one ultimately pulls out their wallet or their purse and says, I will take one, right? It doesn't matter what you're selling. If nobody's buying, you're not in business, which is why sales is crucial. Sales, it's super important for the future and the health. The future and the health of the business. The best businesses in the world would earn the trust of their prospects and help them understand why the offer is worth paying for. No one wants to make a bad decision or be taken advantage of. So sales mostly consist of helping the prospects understand what's important and convincing them that you're capable of actually delivering on what you promise. The end of the sales process is an excited new customer and more money for you in the bank. So sales is important. This week we'll be touching on sales. So for today's lesson on sales, it's just a minute to go. Today's lesson on sales, let's do a quick one. The number one thing we need to understand is transaction. What is a transaction? It's an exchange of value between two or more parties. If I have something you want and you have something I want, we will both be better off if we agree to trade. A transaction is a defining moment of every business. Do you get that? It doesn't matter how well you are. I'm technically good. I am the best. I am this. If the transaction does not take place and the customer giving you money for whatever you're selling, then probably you are not in business at all. Sales are the only point in the business cycle where resources flow into the business, right? Which makes completing transactions critically important. Businesses survive by bringing in more money than they spend, and there's no way to do that without completing transactions. When you're starting a new business, the object is to get to the point where you make your first profitable transaction as quickly as possibly as you can, because that's the point where your transition from being a project to being a business is. You get that? It is when you make $1, one CD, £1. When your business begins to make money, that's when it moves from being just a project to being a real business. He said there's only one boss, the customer. So yes, the customer can fire you. That's a quote from Sam Walton. That is the CEO, the founder of Walmart. So yes, for this week, we're touching on sales. And as lesson one, the transaction is important. Make sure that you get into transaction as quickly and as possible as you can. And that is a lesson on business briefs right here on Zed in the Morning.
In the heart of Accra, nestled in the vibrant neighborhood of East Legon, a new beacon, a 360 multimedia firm has emerged. Introducing Zed Multimedia. With a steadfast focus on lifestyle, leisure, and business, we set out to bring high-value oriented programs that captivate the taste and desires of our audience. From the captivating airwaves of Zed 101.9 FM to the dynamic visuals of Zed TV and the innovative realms of Zed Digital and the incubation of advanced technological knowledge at Zed Tech, every facet of modern media is meticulously curated to engage and inspire. Also, let's not forget the new Finder newspaper, now under the Zed Multimedia umbrella, delivering insightful journalism with a business focus. Join us on the journey where innovation meets inspiration, where lifestyle meets leisure, and where business thrives. Change is here. Zed Multimedia, your lifestyle, leisure, and business platform. In the heart of Accra, nestled in the vibrant neighborhood of East Legon and Zed Tech, every facet of modern media is meticulously curated to engage and inspire. Also, let's not forget the new Finder newspaper, now under the Zed Multimedia umbrella, delivering insightful journalism with a business focus. Join us on the journey where innovation meets inspiration, where lifestyle meets leisure, and where business thrives. Change is here. Zed Multimedia, your lifestyle, leisure, and business platform. Starting a personal finance series starting today. Zed Talk will be doing that tomorrow as well, and then on Thursday as well, just so that, you know, like I keep saying, this is more than a morning show. It's more than a morning commute. It's an experience. It's an educational experience. It's a learning experience like none other. So good morning and welcome to Zed, Mr. Kingsley Ajenku Hayford.
Thank you.
It's been it's
been a while.
I know.
We've been doing things behind the scenes, trying to serve God and the country, and also support people as many and businesses as much.
I know. We've done stuff.
We've done stuff. We've got to be a quota. These are the newspapers.
I know.
Week after week,
we write, we talk.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure those listening to us he knows Kingsley too. Of course, I know Kingsley too. We've been around for a while. Anyway, thank you so much, my brother, for coming today.
Thank you too. I'm happy to be part of your studios, and all you are doing very great.
Thank you.
101.9. Everybody should listen.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kingsley. So first of all, personal finance. How important is it? First of all, what is it and how important is this?
Okay, so let me put this way. I'll do a link so that people can appreciate.
Please do.
I mean, wealth creation starts from individuals.
Okay.
It starts from individuals. Then it progresses to business. Then it's to public finance.
Okay.
So there's personal finance, there's business finance, and there's public finance.
Okay.
How does it happen? Now, individuals try to organize themselves financially, save some money, put some money across. At some point, they say, okay, I think they want to expand their wealth. So let me start a business.
Okay.
So when they started, it moved to business finance. Then they are financing the business. It will come from their personal income, savings, and from friends, putting it together. Once they organize it, from the business side, again, they pay taxes.
Okay.
Once the business pay taxes, then the public funds start from there.
Right.
Even the individuals, they pay tax, employment tax. And as they move into business, they pay the business corporate taxes. One corporate taxes and then individual taxes come into, then there's a public income that comes in. And then that finances our development. That finances our roads and hospitals and everything. However, a certain group are put together to manage the affairs. So there'll be Minister of Finance to in charge of the public finance. And then there are accountants and the accountants to manage the business finance. And individuals will have to manage their businesses. However, the public, in terms of personal finance, is driven by so many factors. I mean, the lifestyle of people brings that into perspective. The choices of people bring finance, and the needs of the family also bring personal finance into perspective. So it's a serious engine of any economy. And I think, unfortunately, in this part of Africa, personal finance is not taught in schools. It's quite difficult. It should be part of the curriculum, because when you finish university or secondary
At what level should we start teaching personal finance?
From the kids. At the moment a child starts asking you, buy me toffee, buy me ice cream, he knows how to spend. Then you must teach him how to generate income. Because money doesn't come anyhow. It's hard work. We work for it. So when you see your child asking, then you ask, where do you think I get the money to buy? That is the conversation. Oh, I work. Then the child asks, if the child is very sharp and intelligent, yeah, so what do you do at work? Then you explain, oh, I'm the accountant there. So when I work, they pay me. And when they pay me, that's how I receive some money. Then you can ask me to, so I buy things from the money I receive, so I have to work. So you need to work. And that is where sometimes if you want to show the child how we work, you can say, okay, polish my shoe for me and I'll pay you 2 cedis. It's like, buy your my father say I'll pay you. So after polish, you ask, are you tired? Or do you feel like you have exhausted some energy or released some energy? Yes, I'm tired, I've been sleeping. I say, yes, when you work, you get tired. Yes, but you are paid. But when I gave you the 2 cedis, you were so happy and the tiredness vanished. And so we work and make money. And so the conversation has to be big, very simple. And any child, very intelligent. Listen, now the kids are going to top schools and they will understand.
Let me. Are you therefore saying that in the absence of this being part of our educational curriculum, we the parents, it behoves on us
to start a conversation?
Amazing.
In a very simple way. For example, okay, let me give another scenario. And a family will have a meeting. If you're a family, you are together. You chat, you talk. And so it's okay, I'm putting up a nice building. This is where we are renting, but I want to put a nice building somewhere at maybe Amasaman, somewhere at Kaswa or East Legon or whatever it is. Then you start a project. Occasionally, sometimes you drive your kids there and your wife to see the state at the level of the project. When you get there, the conversation can start. And look at this building. It is from the income, the money I get from work. Anytime they give me, I save some. Have you seen this cement? I bought it from my income. This slate, I bought it from my income. Have you seen the painting? I bought all of them. So I work. Without work, I can't do all this. So I'm praying that you take your career serious. What do you want to become? A lawyer, an accountant, this work. When you become, you get income.
Practical lessons.
And that's how you start a conversation. And once they get that thinking, then they know that you cannot just spend anyhow. Then they are careful about their lifestyles.
Currently, from day one.
Day one, yes. That's why I said when they start asking you, buy me toffee, buy me ice cream, then he knows how to spend. I think the spending they know, but the income, they don't know how it comes.
Mr. Kingsley Ajenkwe is a chartered accountant, chartered tax advisor, insolvency practitioner, and investment banker, one of my very good friends. And we are having a conversation on personal finance right here. He's made a very profound statement, and I think this is a call on all parents that in the absence of this thing being taught, or whether it's even being taught at school, we also have a responsibility to teach our children. He said they know the expenditure side, they don't do the income side. We need to teach them all that. What are the most common financial mistakes people make, and how can they avoid them?
let me put it this way. You see, the choice of men make men.
The choice of men make men.
Every decision has financial implications.
Every decision
has financial implications.
Interesting.
If you decide to marry, it has financial implications. And let me say this. Marriage will and continue to test your financial capacity, your ability to absorb shocks. Because there is an unending cost in marriage. It doesn't end. In fact, it compounds. You meet a lady, hello, how are you? It's cost. Even to call is cost. Can we have dinner? It's cost. Then the thing advances. Can you buy me this? It's cost. Nowadays, I don't have phone. It's cost. I'm talking about young men meeting each other, young men and women meeting each other. Oh, I don't have a phone. It's cost. Or where I live, there's a problem. Can you help me? It's cost. Even you have not started the journey. These are prelims. These are around the corner. And so cost. And so you move into where you want to perform the right. They give you a list. Is the cost. That's the beginning. That one, let's see the food. It is done, completed. Let's see, that's a major cost. The danger is when your wife gets pregnant, that the matter begin to blow up. The baby arrives, blow up. The second one, the third one, the fourth one. Then, if you're not careful, the financial mistakes start coming. So back to the question. That is where you see people living on credit, living beyond their means and borrowing to finance the basic needs and consumptions of the family. Again, you see people not having budget, not plan. That's one big mistake. There's no budget. There's no planning. And also, people, in terms of their lifestyles, I stay on this too, borrowing to finance and then not having a budget. And also, your credit cards, people overuse it. And then let me add your credit rating. That's one mistake, because you see, in life, you can finance yourself to a certain point. Beyond a certain point, you need a bit of debt. That means somebody financing you. And it depends on your integrity.
Okay.
Because if I should call Jerry, today things are not working, can I get 2,000? I'll pay you tomorrow. It's my integrity.
Exactly.
Whether I'll pay or not. And so the common mistake people make, 3 of them, very serious, because it's very serious, because your rating, your credit rating, your integrity in honoring your debt is critical. People borrow from banks, they don't pay. They borrow from friends, they don't pay. You get to a point, you close yourself out. Now, in times that you are in difficulty, nobody can loan you anything. Nobody's prepared. They don't trust you again. And then borrowing continuously to finance your needs and not having a budget. And so if these 3 things are addressed, you see that naturally you begin to correct it. And so in correcting, you say, look, I have to stop. But the first point, have a budget. So I'm providing, the opposite of solution.
Mm-hmm.
It's the reverse. If you start doing it, you are correcting it.
Exactly.
If you don't do it, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's become a mistake. And so once you have a budget.
Have a budget.
That is the correction. And I call it the IMF budget. This morning, you must have an IMF meeting. Make up with your wife, the chairman of the board.
The women are the chairman of the board.
I tell you.
And we the men, we are what?
We are members. Because their decisions are powerful.
Okay.
They will tell you no. Won't do it. You see, when you build a family and you are working together, you see that all this is place. The woman is the chief advisor. Is the chief advisor. I'm telling you. If men will listen to their wives, they make serious points. Just take time.
So you are saying that
at the IMF meeting,
if a young man is listening to us,
yes,
a young woman is listening to us. In fact, let's take the young man first.
Yes.
And he's courting a lady now. You say one of the things he should be looking out for is the quality of advice she gives now.
Now.
Because when they get married, she
should be the chief advisor.
Okay.
And I expect the woman to do this because it's one of the key ingredients that men watch. He said, I want to go and buy the latest Range Rover. I said, no, have you bought a house? Even as a girlfriend or fiancé, don't do it. Buy a house. And look, even if the marriage does not come on, it will be recorded in the history of the man that it was Ajua Akos that made me buy a house.
So what you're saying here for is that our future partners play a very integral role
serious in
our personal finance.
Seriously. They can make or not make you. It's very important. And so the woman can make things happen. Look, even in the economy, in other countries, I don't want to talk about Ghana, other countries, some of the decisions that is taken at the top level, sometimes is the advisors.
Behind the scenes.
They run the show.
You are saying that
they are very powerful.
You are saying, you don't want to say, but I know you are saying, Mr. Kingsley Hayford, you are saying that
other countries,
that in not in Ghana, in other countries, the prime minister's wife or the president's wife
and the advisors,
and they would have a say.
They run the show. They make things happen.
Not Ghana. We don't want trouble.
So
not Ghana.
The council of the advisors are serious. Serious. And so when you have a good wife, a wife that understands life, understand family finance, understand where you are going, they are chief advisors at the home. And so you must do the IMF meeting, discuss the challenges, the difficulties, the expenditures, and the income. How do we generate income? How do you balance the budget? How do you move away from borrowing into a balanced budget? A balanced budget is when your income is equal to your expenditure. You have balanced it. Then the next step is to move towards what? Surplus. Because a lot of people are around deficit. When you have deficit budget, it means that your expenditure is more than your income. And when it continues, you get into financial crisis and financial insecurity. And that is why you are borrowing. Then you lead to borrowing. So when deficit continues, it means that borrowing is happening. Because you earn 2,000. You have been spending 3,000. Where is the 1,000 coming from? Either it's coming from corruption or it's coming from some borrowing.
Are you saying that for those of us who wake up in the morning and criticize government decision, this and that and GDP and government, we still probably at home, we are worse?
Let me say this. The family is a reflection of government.
Hey, Kingsley, I'm saying things today.
The family is a reflection of government. It's the individuals, pots of families and families and families and families that makes nationals. And we form a one family unit. And therefore one family unit goes for election. And appoint a head, the family head. So the president becomes the family head. And he is handed over the finances of the family at the national level. He decides. He appoints his ministers to spend and to account for all of us. That's why I said earlier, public finance dovetail into business finance, into public, personal finance dovetail business finance into public finance. It's a link. When the individuals are not doing well, it's a reflection. It reflects in the public purse.
You're saying categorically that the way we run our homes, right?
Yeah.
It's a reflection of the bigger problem.
Yeah.
So we're living on borrowing because we're living beyond our means.
Perfectly.
First of all, we don't have a good budget and we're not living within the budget. Yeah. And when you don't have a good budget or you don't have a budget at all, then you would spend when you think you have the money, but probably you don't.
Yes. And so it's a serious issue. And therefore, like I said, the choice of men make men.
The choices of men make men.
The reason that every choice has implications. From policy to your decision to finance your education of your children. Which options you take, it has serious ramifications. And so you must be sound about it. And you must take time to examine it. That's why I qualify the family meeting as an IMF meeting. It's a meeting where all the stakeholders are contributing to the way we have to run it. For example, you have a tube of yam, and you are three, you cook all, half go waste. What are you talking about?
Wow.
You know that you don't have the money, but you still want to have DSTV. Why? Why do you want to worry your head? Go and watch some game. There are restaurants around. Top matches can go. For the meantime, your situation is not the best. You see, when you are in a hole, there's a way you behave.
And when you come out of the hole too, they say, we.
So you see, a lot of people are pretending, especially, you see, this is what I want to say. I want to say this. The middle class is creating a problem.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
Because, you see, they want to behave as if they are there, but they are not there. Look, I think we are in class 1. We have to still remain there. Let us think the way we were when we were in school. When like things were not working, we knew. Some of them, you see, to the extent that people see the public school as not the best school. Meanwhile, it's the same school that you attended and you have a first class material. And you are saying that that public school is not kind of function or it's not the best. Then your income is $2,000. And then you go and find a school that pays $2,000. How are you financing it? 1, borrowing. 2, corruption. You are doing something wrong. Our friends are financing you, that's the luckiest part. But it doesn't work.
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. And that is what happened on the other. So the middle income is behaving a certain way. Slow down. We need to slow down, look at the realities. That's why I have the belief that we need to build more billionaires.
In this country?
Yes. They can solve the problem. They can resolve the problem. Go to Nigeria, Dangote. Wherever Dangote goes, there's development. Wealth can be created through agriculture one time. You need an enclave.
Mr. Kingsley,
we need to pick one particular, what you call, commodity, and we transform. And one of them is palm. Palm oil plantations.
Palm can change the fortunes of this country.
One time. All you need is to do about 100,000 acres. This one is free. 100,000 acres. And you move roads there. You build one top school there. Then internet is provided. Accommodation is released. About half of Ghanaians will move in there. And that's wealth creation, the mass level.
It's 8:30. And it's Zed Talk. Today we're doing a personal finance series. It's going on today, tomorrow, Thursday as well. Kingsley Ajenkuhe for this my guest. He's a chartered accountant, chartered tax advisor. He's an insolvency practitioner and an investment banker. And he's dropping some bombs. Really dropping some. So someone is listening to us and he's like, where do I start from? I mean, how do I even create a budget? Where do I start from?
Well, I think a budget has 2 angles. The income side and the expenditure side. And so let me deal with the income side. You need to assess your wealth or income generating capacity. You are a teacher now, you earn maybe 1,500 or 2,000. Is that your capacity? Is it enough? Your expenditure is rising, it's around 3,000. So you need to assess your capacity. So your income as a teacher. 2, if you write a book, can you increase your earnings?
Okay.
Again, if you organize special classes, not necessarily for your students there, you have to general one that everybody knows that you are the best in mathematics, you are the best science teacher. Everybody knows in Ghana that when you deliver science, you can't fail. And French, whatever it is, people will be calling you because you have what we call the French series. you teach and it's done. So as a teacher, there's a lot you can do with your brain. You need to exhaust it. You need to stretch it to increase your revenue base.
You think we don't do that enough in this country?
No. I think it's been one way.
We just go income, 8 to 5, 8 to whatever.
I think our working time is not the best. I think we should look at it all. We should be able to do 4 hours and close, and somebody come and do another thing. It even increase employment. So if I'm earning 10,000 a job, and I do 4 hours, another person, I'll take 5,000, another person will do 4. So if we have about 500,000 on the payroll, it will go to 1 million. Oh, everybody will get something to do.
And then what happens to me when I close?
You have other things to do. You have extra hours to do other things. Create ideas. There must be innovations, idea innovations, creativities must happen. So that, and once you look at, that's the career perspective. Then you look at the industry that generates more income and position yourself there. Certain industries, when you work there, you make money, a lot. Some industries are also slow. So you pick yourself and pitch. That's why I look at your career. There must be mid-career changes. You have to do it, review it.
I'm not making enough money here. I move on to somewhere else.
And then you can be an entrepreneur. It's all careers. You start something new. And on the basis of that, you increase your income. So the income must be looked at from all these angles. And before you realize, you have about 12,000 as income. The income, your expenses are 3,000. The problem of income is difficult. So that's if you're able to get it right. Other than that, the best area to look at your incomes and sustain yourself is look at expenditure. You can control it.
So if the income is not rising to appreciable levels,
you have to look at expenditure.
Then bring expenditure down.
So it's an option. You see, that's why I said that the way we manage the personal finance, that's the way we manage public finance.
Because they are linked.
They are linked. Because it's individuals who are taking decisions. Even they are not disciplined, they are not disciplined.
Hey, Mr. Hayford.
There is financial responsibility and indiscipline. And that's affecting even the national level.
Are you saying that if we vote a financially irresponsible person into office, the person will run the country financially responsibly?
Are you quoting it or you are saying it?
I'm just asking.
Asking?
Yes.
I'm also asking the same question.
That's why I feel like you put friends together in the studio to do a show. What are some, okay, so now we're on the other side, the expenditure side. Let's look at some smart ways to save money on everyday expenses, because now we're in the expenditure side.
I think basically there are two things. There are needs and wants. The needs are so critical that without it you can't survive. Shelter, food, clothing, these are critical. Education, critical. You need to go to school. And so these ones, you must make sure your expenditure covers that. However, again, even in education, if your child can go to public school, why not? Why go and pay $2,000? Why not? Go and check the schools, all the top schools, and see if you don't have those in public schools there. And they are doing very well. Seriously. We have undermined the public schools, and we need to get back and get it done. They are doing well. Even the teachers that are there, they are the best trained. They want the best training colleges. There's something wrong. Somebody doesn't want to develop. And I think probably some of them, they should be worried as teachers why the kids are not delivering. There may be a lot of resources, problem issues, but one thing I know, if you can compare 1979 or 1960 and 1966 there, the kind of schools people were inside, and compared to now, I think they should do better. And basic. Sometimes we think too high of things. 1960, imagine the schools. Imagine people were coming to Achimota. I know my uncle, I remember very well. He goes to Achimota from a village from Eastern region to Achimota. It tells you the capacity of the teachers at the time. They were willing to develop people. It's a personal calling.
Teaching.
I think people are in it because they want money. I think so. Because I think so. I think so. We all need money, but if you are listening to me, I'm not trying to say that. But there is one thing teaching and the child failing. You should be sad.
Okay.
I think so.
A teacher whose students or pupils don't do well should be sad.
I'm telling you. Because you have internet. You have iPhone. And you can do research. In the remotest of the remotest community. You can come to Accra, spend weekend, download files online, put on your laptop, and go back to the community and develop next generation of leaders. Trust me. Show them videos. Impartation.
Then that's a teacher who is taking the thing personal.
To the next level. It is a personal calling. The heart of man.
Shelter. Food, clothing, critical. Education. These are the four that you say they are very critical.
Yeah, so if you're able to tackle these lapses in education, you reduce educational costs.
Okay.
Seriously, that's one. Food. Like I said, a tuber of yam. Why would you cook all when you know you are three? You share in this excess. Waste.
Oh, okay.
Waste. It's basic.
There's a lot of food waste at home.
Yes, even clothing. You have 3 or 4. In fact, even clothing, the best for men, all you need is blue, black trousers and black. And
two trousers.
Two trousers. And then a white shirt. Get 5.
Is it because I love white shirts that you're saying that?
Yes, you say I love white shirt. Blue white shirt is 1. And then change your tie.
Okay.
red, blue, green, red. One shirt, white, every day. You close from work, 5 o'clock, you wash. In the morning, it's red, you iron it. White shirt, change the tie red. The next day.
They think you are wearing a different white shirt.
They are confused. When you're in crisis, that's the strategy.
You tighten your belt.
Yes, and you get out of it.
Interesting. Okay.
So these are needs. And
even needs you can manage them.
Deal with it.
So we've not come to wants at all.
Oh, that one is.
We are still on needs.
Yes.
Another critical one, transportation.
Again, I know that is also difficult. Many people are buying cars. Yes, our transport system is quite difficult. I think that's the biggest challenge. That's the biggest challenge. And I think that it is something that we need to fix so that the mass transport system works. You don't need to drive. You don't need to drive. And I think people are taking driving to be luxury. Now it's like if you don't drive, if you're not careful, you don't even get a wife. Oh, you get the best wife.
You're walking, you're talking to somebody's daughter.
You get. It's a fact. I'm telling you.
So you are forced to buy a car.
So people are buying car.
So a car is no more a want. It becomes a need.
Because you need it to secure a deal. Oh.
0544321019 0303956641. You want to join this conversation? The lines are open. 0544321019. You can follow us on our social media platforms at X, Facebook, and Instagram. The handle is at ZFMGH, and then on TikTok and YouTube, it's at Z Multimedia, and the website is zmultimedia.com. This is a third hour of the show, and we are in the Z Talk space. The topic here today is personal finance. You and I know of the many complaints that people are giving concerning the financial situations they find themselves in. Today, we brought you a man I call an expert in the area of personal finance, and he's dropping bombs. I mean, if some of them are so biting, like some of the things Mr. Kingsley Ajenkueford is saying, if they are biting you, it's for your own good. He's here to help you so that at the end of the day, you have a better life. It's 20 to the top of the hour into our last 20 minutes to 9 o'clock. We still have some few minutes to go before he takes leave of us. So we looked at income. We are looking at expenditure. Shelter.
That's also a critical
educate us there.
Again, even for renting, now renting is becoming expensive. I know building materials are rising up.
Okay, sorry to cut you. There's a caller on the line. Yes, so when we get through the caller, we would have that conversation with him. I'm sure there are so many people that want to talk to Mr. Hayford. Kingsley Hayford is here. Please call 0544 321019 0544 321019 if you want to have a conversation with Mr. Hayford. Good morning, caller. Please, where are you calling from and your name? Hello, please, where are you calling from and your name? Okay, we'll try and get him back. And I know the topic's quite exciting, and he's saying stuff that probably people are finding it a bit biting, but we still must have these conversations. If you are ready to criticize government, please let's also be ready so that when Mr. Hayford is punching, you would also feel the pinch. We criticize a lot, but we don't want to be criticized. Are you managing your home better than we are managing this economy? That is a very important one that we need. Let's move to the next caller. Good morning, sir. Please, where are you calling from and your name?
I'm Kezia.
Kezia,
Jerry, how are you?
Kezia, it's good to hear your voice. Yesterday, I heard you calling to the edition. Kezia, what's your mind on this conversation?
I really love the discussion. I really love it, especially the point you made of as a young person trying to get married, your partner, the advice is very, very important, and men should look out for that. Even not even men alone. As ladies, you need also to look for that. I mean, buying all those things is not necessary. I hope your program, you are filing everything. You are recording everything. You can play it at churches. Yes.
We'll do that.
So that they can, learn something from this good discussion.
Thank you so much, Kezia, for coming through. It's always lovely to have you. There's a next caller on the line. Okay, we'll get through to the next caller as well. Thank you so much. So you're talking about cement prices and all that.
Yeah, yes, I said that cement prices are up. We know. I mean, in terms of even labor, it's quite high. First, it would be 40 per day. Now it's about 200, 150. It tells you that we are constructing and building. We know the stuff.
Yes.
And so it makes making rents quite expensive. So what it means is that you need to decide whether to go for a 2-bedroom apartment, whether you need to do 1-bedroom apartment, or you need to do a single room.
And then the community as well?
And the community. So you need to decide. If you are in La Paz, the cost is different. If we are getting closer to Cantonment, you can pick your bill. If you go to Amasama, your bill will be different. And so depending on the state you are in, you have to look at the place to relocate. If you are in East Legon and it's not working, please get to Amasama and relax. You will come back in grand style after adjustment and recovery.
But what will send you to East Legon in the first place?
Because your income cannot sustain the expenditure in East Legon. Even roasted plantain is expensive.
In East Legon?
I tell you, it's 5 cities per one.
Oh, you went to ask?
Oh, I know. You do research. We have numbers on the ground.
So you are saying roasted plantain in East Legon is more expensive than one in
Kaswa.
Kaswa.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the difference.
So look at your income level
and move. Don't be worried. A man is as good as his capacity, his knowledge, his intelligence, his creativity. I've always said, you can take everything. You can take everything that belongs to me. Just leave my brain. I'll bounce back. Just leave the brain.
You think the average Ghanaian is living above his means?
Yes. Because you see, if you look at social media, people are doing things that somebody says it's not working, but with iPhone, that's about 12,000, 15,000. How? Even the small business, pure water, you can do that business easily. Even the roasted plantain business, how much does it cost? If you have 12,000 iPhone, you can fix that business. And every day you are in. And you grow gradually. And so there's something wrong. People want to wear nice designer dresses. You are not there. Oh, take your time.
Wow.
And so patience is key. Wealth creation is patience. You need time. Time to grow. Time to get. It takes the average of 5 to 10 years to get results. You cannot achieve. That's why there's corruption. People are spoiling the state agencies, destroying government.
They're in a hurry.
It's in a hurry because they want to destroy. Massive destruction. But let me tell people, this nation has a soul.
Ghana.
I tell you, in Africa, when you take public money and you consume it wrongly, the soul will come after you.
The soul of the nation will come after you. Yeah. Interesting. How does someone balance saving for the future with enjoying their life today?
Again, it comes back to your budget and self-control, discipline and responsibility. Let me say this so that it will get people in the right perspective. You can be poor by the family you are born into.
Okay.
You can make you poor. You can be poor by association, friends. You can also be poor by location.
Where they born you, I mean, automatically you're poor.
You're poor from day one. And so all these things are there. So there must be some conscious effort to get out.
Okay.
And there are many stories like that. And I think that we are not saying it well. We are not teaching it well. We need to stir the spirit of people, the mindset of people. There must be a revolution. The next 5 years to 10 years, I fear, if the young men don't take position and take this country in terms of their contribution, in terms of business, in terms of what they can do, we need them. And everybody must think through with ideas. So a part of planning your career is very critical. Your financial goals are key. And then you have your budget tie in. When you have this thing done, and then it sits on choice and discipline and responsibility, then you see that you can be living your life now while still securing the future. You need these three: choice, discipline, and responsibility. Is the only thing that can change this country. I said earlier, the choice of men make men. If you have too many choices, if you are not careful, even in economics, you have scale of preference. Which one do you do first? Nice ideas. Which one?
You think we are not planning our futures well enough?
I think so. And I believe so.
So what does the future then look like?
It's bright. But it depends on planning. A new arrangement, new thinking. You need to change our mindset. It can be done. We have all the resources. It starts with the brain. The number of people in 1957, the number of educated people were few. But many things took place. Now, we have more educated people. I'm sure 1957, we may have about 5 or 10 lawyers. But today, we have more lawyers. In 1957, I know very well the first Ghanaian chartered accountant. He's named after the University of Ghana Business School, Harris Amagashi. He was the only chartered accountant at the time. And many people came on board. Today, we have many of them.
So what's your point?
My point is that now we have more brains, so we cannot fail. Professor Norman, 2008, said in advanced countries in Harvard and one of the top, says that we are training men and women who will solve problems that has not ever come.
That's what they are doing. They are training the brains and waiting for the problem to come.
That has not yet even come.
And what are we doing here?
That's why when the COVID came, you saw it. In less than 3 months, people had vaccines. And we were waiting.
Wait. We'll come back to this very issue.
And
they train brains that would be prepared for future problems.
Yes.
But we do what?
Manage problems.
I don't want to even go into that angle again. We just have about it's 10 minutes to the top of the hour. We have 5 minutes to go on this very conversation. And like I said, it's a personal finance series. So, hey, Kingsley is going to come back for us to continue the conversation on this. How has social media played a role in personal financing, whether it has helped or it is actually hindered? What would you say?
I think it's killing people. People are showcasing who they are not. And it's affecting people. Somebody can go into a boutique, dress and want to see if it fits, takes a picture, and he put it on social media. You at home, you think it's for him or her. It's not. And you say, this is my mate, what is happening to me?
Oh, okay.
And sometimes the person stand by a nice vehicle, take a shot, put on social media. I said, wow, this Kwame Asamo. Me and him, I was doing well. I was first class, and he said third class. It's not for him. So it's, if you are not careful. I saw one post on social media, one woman, he said, social media family. I was like, these are invisible people.
Social media family?
Yes, people have created families there.
They never met face to face, but they know each other.
And so when they put something there and there's negative comment, they are hurt. When they say it's fine, they are fine. These are invisible people. Very serious. And so it's affecting our finances. And we need to be very careful. Don't take social media serious in terms of that perspective. Take it as a place of advertisement, a place of showing good things, development, things that you want to do, creative ideas where people can buy into it, but not showing, I just got my latest iPhone. You don't have it. You meet the person doesn't have it. Sometimes you meet some people, they cannot match the way they look.
Their social media status and you seeing them face to face, you're wondering.
That it doesn't match. It's worrying. Then sometimes people go and take a picture and they tidy it up nicely. They give them smooth face.
Filters.
So if you're not careful, you sign a deal and you realize that it's a wrong deal. I know what I'm saying. People know. They get shocked.
Are you saying people have met ladies in persons that they had met on social media and they were shocked?
I think we're talking about personal finance.
Okay, I think it's personal finance discussion we're having here. A few more minutes, then they here for to be back tomorrow. Don't worry. I know the messages are coming through. Some say they're enjoying the conversation and all that. Yes, we will continue this. I told you this show is more than a morning show. It's a learning experience. We bring you the very best brains to give us the very best of advice to help us make the most informed decisions. This is Zed in the morning. It's Zed Talk with Mr. Kingsley Ajinku Hayford, chartered accountant, chartered tax advisor, insolvency practitioner, and investment banker. He has a book called Personal Finance Today, Personal Financial Decisions and Their Implications. You need to get a copy of that. The foreword was actually done by Professor Edward Mafo Yadom. He's the Dean of the School of Business, University of Cape Coast. Like Hayford said from the very beginning, we've done stuff. We've writing. We've written. He has a copy of his book. Try get that tomorrow. I'm sure we'll have a more of a discussion on it. What's the single most important advice somebody listening to us today should take in terms of personal advice? Single most important advice.
Choices. Watch your choices. The choice of men make men.
The choice of men make men.
It makes country. It makes businesses. It makes families.
Choices.
Yes.
Is it something you learn? Is it nature or nature in terms of quality of choices?
It's from experience, and it's also from advice. That the eyes of your understanding
may be open.
That revelation you need. So those who are Christians, fasting and prayers does not give wealth. It gives revelation.
So that you go and put it into
So your
action.
job is to make a decision. And once you make a decision, execution, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation bring the results.
This has been interesting. This has been very, very interesting. We'll continue the discussion tomorrow. We'll bring back our very honorable guest today. He's Kingsley Ajinku Hayford. He's a chartered accountant, chartered tax advisor, insolvency practitioner, investment banker. Single most important advice: choices. The choices of men make men. They make businesses and they make countries. So says the man. We'll be having him here tomorrow. It's 5 to the top of the hour. Customer service and experience moments coming up right here on Zed in the Morning.
Zed 101.9 FM.
I know you wouldn't disagree. It's the same old story. Everywhere I go, I get slandered, libeled. I hear words I never heard in the Bible. And I'm one step ahead of the shoe shine, 2 steps away from the county line. And I've got to keep my customer satisfied, so satisfied. Deputy Sheriff said to me, what you come here for, boy? You better get your bags and flee. You're in trouble, boy, and now you're heading into more. It's the same old story. Everywhere I go, I get slandered, libeled. I hear words I never heard in the Bible. And I'm so tired, so tired. And I've got to keep my customer satisfied, so satisfied.
Yes, it's customer service and experience moment right here on Zed in the Morning. We've been looking at the skills that are essential for customer service. Today we're looking at one skill. You remember what we said? Skills, knowledge, and attitude make up the man. So last week we looked at attitudes. This past week we were looking at skills. Let's look at one of the very important skills you need at the front desk. Creative skills. Creative skills. Somebody say, wow, how's creativity? Yes, creativity is very, very important. Because you see, offering customers innovative solutions to complex problems is what entices them to stay. Think about it. You want to offer them exciting solutions. Customer comes to you and comes with a problem that you've not seen before. It's not every problem that will be in some, what we call those things on the site, FAQs, frequently asked questions. No, it's not everything that you can capture in the FAQs. There are times when a customer will come with a problem that is not in your FAQs. That is where your creativity comes in. So every customer service person must be very creative. A creative and resourceful agent typically takes a classic service interaction from forgettable to memorable. So you can take a normal, boring customer problem that you face every day, and by sheer state of imagination and creativity, you can create something super amazing. There is no limit to what you can do to excite your customer. There's absolutely no limit to what you can do to excite your customers. So think about it whilst you're listening to us today. As you go, as the office opens, or you're already in the office listening to us, ask yourself, if a customer came in right now with a very common problem, how do I use creativity to solve the problem, to move the experience from simply forgettable to memorable? That is what is key. It's a creative and resourcefulness that we need at the front desk. It is something that you cannot buy anywhere. It can't be taught. It is something you must dig deep down into yourself and be able to pull it out. So creativity is a skill that is needed at the front desk, and that is our skill for today. Creativity. So if you're a front desk person, or you have front desk people working for you, the question you should be asking yourself, how creative are they? How creative are they? Why is creativity also important? Creativity is important because if you have a front desk person who is not creative, if a customer comes with a problem that just needs some creativity to be solved, he will look at the customer and say, listen, when we look in our book, we were not told. When manager was, they didn't tell us how to solve this. So please, there's no solution to that. That is someone who is lacking the resourcefulness to thrive at the front desk, and you don't want that people like that to be handling your customers. So it is very important. So that is for today's lesson, essential skills for excellent service experience. We're looking at creativity. Mark yourself by your own level. How creative are you when it comes to service delivery? How creative are you? Or you are the robotic type that knows only one way. It is just my way, or is the highway. It is what we were told, or it is none other way. So please, it's super important that you have that. Thank you very much. This is customer service and experience moment right here on Zed in the Morning.
It's your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Zed 101.9 FM.
Zed in the Morning on Zed 101.9 FM.
I can't fool myself, I don't want nobody else to ever love me. You are my shining star, my guiding light, my love fantasy. There's not a minute, hour, day or night that I don't love you. You're at the top of my list, cause I'm always thinking of you. I still remember in the days when I was scared to touch you, how I spent my day dreaming, planning how to say I love you. You must have known that I had feelings deep enough to swim in. That's when you opened up your heart and you told me to come in. Oh my love, 1,000 kisses from you is never too much. I just don't wanna stop. Oh my love, a million days in your arms is never too much. I just don't wanna stop. Never too much, never too much, never too much. Woke up today, looked at your picture just to get me started. I called you up, but you weren't there, and I was broken hearted. Hung up the phone. phone, can't be too late. The boss is so demanding. Open the door up, and to my surprise, there you were standing. Who needs to go to work to hustle for another dollar? I'd rather be with you, cause you make my heart scream and holler. Love is a gamble, and I'm so glad that I am winning. We've come a long way, and yet this is only the beginning of my love. 1,000 kisses from you is never enough. I just don't wanna stop. A million days in your arms is never enough. And I just don't wanna stop. Never too much, never too much, never too much.
It's your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Woke up today, looked at your picture just to get me started. I called you up, but you weren't there, and I was broken hearted. Hung up the phone, can't be too late. The boss is so demanding. Open the door up, and to my surprise, there you were standing. Who needs to go to work to hustle for another dollar? I'd rather be with you, cause you make my heart scream and holler. Love is a gamble, and I'm so glad that I am winning. We've come a long way, and yet this is only the beginning of my love. 1,000 kisses from you is never enough. I just don't wanna stop. A million days in your arms is never enough. And I just don't wanna stop.
Never too much, never too much, never too much. Uncle Luther Vandross, 1981. Never too much. Yeah, it is that old. So if you heard it when you were young, you are that old as well. Thank you for tuning in. This is the final hour of the show. It's 5 minutes past 9, and we're going into the Tuesday last hour of the show segment. We call it Health and Wellness. You know the way we do it. Mondays is personal growth and development, and then Tuesdays we chat health and wellness, and then on Wednesdays is science and tech, Thursdays art, culture and tourism, and on Fridays we have our round tables. Yeah, so today's health and wellness, and we have in the studio to help us decipher all the issues concerning health and wellness, medical practitioner from the University of Ghana Medical Center, Dr. Christiana Akpan is with us. She's from UGMC. We're talking diabetes today. That is a discussion that we'll be having on Zed Talk. No, that's the extended version. Health and wellness, rather. Z101.9 FM. Good morning, Dr. Christiana Akpan.
Good morning.
It's nice.
Jeffrey.
Yeri? It's nice seeing you.
Nice seeing you too.
I hope you're happy to be here.
Oh, definitely.
You're relaxed.
Yes, I am.
Diabetes. What is it and why is it a big deal?
Okay, diabetes is a condition where you have very high levels of sugar in your blood.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important because, now we are talking about non-communicable diseases, and this is the major cause of disease in the world currently, globally, and also in Ghana. We have diabetes and hypertension, the top causes of non-communicable diseases, causing a lot of disease burden. So this is why we really need to talk about it.
We're told there are different types.
Oh yeah, we have majorly we have the type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Initially we classified the juvenile as different, but now it's under type 1, which is when you have reduced, in fact the pancreas, which is the organ in the body responsible for producing insulin, the hormone that should put the sugars into the cells. And we have that the pancreas is unable to produce the insulin, and that's what we have in type 1. But in type 2 diabetes, which is initially was called the adult onset, but now it's just type 2 because you even have very young people coming down with the disease. So in this type, is one of two things. The pancreas is not producing enough insulin to cater for the body's sugars, or the cells are not responding well to the insulin that is being produced. So that's what you have in type 2 diabetes.
Okay, so you're saying that there used to be what they call gestational?
Juvenile, that's
and now
in
it is
young
part
people,
of type
but
1.
it's type 1, yes.
Okay, all right. So broadly, we have just 2 types now.
Yes.
Interesting.
Well, we still have gestational diabetes, which is what you find in pregnant women. We have pre-diabetes as well. But yes, when you're talking about real diabetes, it's mainly type 1 and 2.
Type 1 and type 2.
Yes.
Okay. What are the common symptoms and signs of diabetes?
Okay, so diabetes, especially type 2, which is the most common type, can start very insidiously. Initially the symptoms can be so mild that if you do not actually go for a screening program, it might not be picked up. But the symptoms majorly for diabetes are you feel very thirsty, we call it polydipsia, or you're urinating a lot, we call it polyuria, or you are eating a lot, we call it polyphagia, and unintentional weight loss when you're just losing weight. These are the 4 major symptoms of diabetes.
Wow.
Some other symptoms like feeling weak, having recurrent boils are all part of the symptoms that we can get.
And how do you do this diagnosis? I mean, someone comes, how would you test to see if the person has diabetes?
Okay, so the test for diabetes majorly is the fasting blood sugar. All right. So when a client comes and we need to do the test, we typically go for the fasting blood sugar, and we diagnose diabetes if you have a fasting blood sugar that is greater than 7.1 millimoles, 7.1 or higher millimoles per liter, and you have symptoms, which I already spoke about, the symptoms of diabetes. That means if we check your fasting blood sugar and you have higher than this value and you also have symptoms, the diagnosis is made. But if there are no symptoms, then we need at least 2 values that are high to make the diagnosis.
Okay.
Random blood sugar too, if it's greater than 11.1 millimoles. That means even if you have eaten, your sugar shouldn't be higher than that. So if it's higher than that, then it's diabetes.
Amazing. And when you say you need 2, because the person hasn't got a symptom, so you need to do a double, and then all double must give you high figures before you're totally convinced.
Exactly.
Does that mean that there could be just one hike in sugar level and that is not necessarily diabetes?
Well, sometimes somebody is acutely unwell. The stress with being unwell can make your blood sugars go up. But beyond just having the 2, like I said, we also go for a confirmatory test. We have something that is called oral glucose tolerance test, which is used to confirm. And when you come for that test, they give you some high-loaded sugar drink to take, and then your sugar is checked at intervals after that. That really confirms if indeed you're able to, put your sugars into your cells like you're supposed to.
Wow. With this whole thing that we keep hearing, insulin. What is insulin, and what is the role of insulin in all this discussion?
Okay, so like I said, the pancreas, which is an organ in the body, is responsible for producing the beta cells of the gland, is responsible for producing insulin. Now, insulin, when you eat, these cells are supposed to produce the insulin, which is supposed to be released into the blood. And this helps the sugars that you have now eaten to be sent into the cells to reduce the level in the blood. So there's supposed to be a steady state in the blood which caters for your brain, because I mean all your body organs need it. So yes, this is essentially what insulin does. But in the case where insulin is reduced, or the cells, the receptors on the cells are not responding well to the insulin that you have in the body, then you have high sugars. So insulin is the hormone which is responsible for keeping a normal sugar level in the body.
Okay. So if there is diabetes, then there's a problem with insulin doing its work.
Exactly.
Either it is not being produced enough,
Exactly.
or it is produced enough but it's not able to
work as it should. Yes.
Now we understand. It's a lesson. 30 minutes past the hour of 9 and the final hour of the show. We have Dr. Christiana Akwan here from the UGMC, and we're having a discussion on diabetes. Diabetes mellitus, is that a full name?
Diabetes mellitus.
Mellitus. Diabetes mellitus. That's the name. Okay, nice. So what are the different treatment options for diabetes in terms of medications? And then we come to our big one, which here at Zed is critical. That's lifestyle. We're the lifestyle, leisure, and business radio. So first, let's start with medications. Then we come to lifestyle.
Okay. Well, you are putting me in a box because in our practice we like to start with lifestyle.
Okay, please do. Oh, feel free.
Even with when the diagnosis is first made, lifestyle is the first thing. All right, because it is so important. We encourage that if you are overweight, reducing your weight, maintaining a healthy weight is very essential in the management, because this has proven to bring down your sugar levels. In people who are pre-diabetic, lifestyle alone is used in management to put them back into euglycemia. When I mean euglycemia, I'm talking about normal sugar levels. So diet. Management of diabetes is multidisciplinary, and one of the key players in this team is a dietitian. So if a diagnosis of prediabetes is made, or the early diabetes, it is in fact in all diabetes, but primarily in these ones, they start the management and we reassess to see if it worked. If it didn't, then we can consider medications. So diet. The dietitian can give, a broad, talks to the patient, finds out what they are doing wrong and what can be corrected. They, get their diet list, what they typically eat, what they shouldn't. So we know that in diabetes, the simple sugars, are culprits, because once you take them in, they just shoot up your blood sugars. So we want you to eat more complex sugar, carbohydrates, or more complex foods. That the breakdown is gradual, so that the release of sugar into your system is gradual, and it doesn't give us that very high peak of blood sugar. So diets, we want a healthy plate, which includes your vegetables, your proteins, carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates in good proportion. Now, it's a misconception that if you are diabetic, you shouldn't eat any carbohydrates. You shouldn't, because we know that all the foods you are eating will eventually be broken down to sugar. So the dietitian, if you are diabetic and you are listening this morning and you've not seen a dietitian before, please make an appointment today, because it's essential for you to see them and they discuss with you how you should eat. That's one. And then exercise. Okay, so exercise really is important, because if you exercise, it also helps your cells to be more sensitive to insulin.
Okay.
So if you are producing insulin and your cells are not sensitive, just exercising alone will make your cells more sensitive, and then you get your sugars becoming more euglycemic. So exercise is also very important. And like I said when I started, maintaining a healthy weight. Okay, we've seen that People who are obese are more prone to diabetes than others. So if you reduce your weight, it also helps significantly. People who smoke are advised to stop because we know that diabetes affects the arteries. It causes injuries to the blood vessels. So those who smoke further worsen the injury caused by diabetes.
What kind of smoke?
Smoking anything, cigarettes, even if you are a secondary smoker, you're around where people are always smoking. Anything, as long as you're inhaling something, yes. Even shisha is smoking,
Okay.
Yes. So it's advised that you stop smoking, reduce alcohol significantly. So just maintaining a healthy lifestyle, reducing, your cholesterol. So that's also what we use in the lifestyle modification. All the fatty foods, boil them instead of, frying, or, those kind of things should be considered in your lifestyle management.
What are examples of complex carbohydrates?
Okay, so like we say, it's better to take the brown rice instead of the, plain white rice.
Okay.
So those are the examples. Things like drinking the Coke, the Fantas, those are just sugars that once you take them in, it's spiking your, yes. So you can make your juice by yourself instead of having to drink, or better still drink water.
Better still just drink water, right? Okay, so at what part in this journey does medication come in?
Yes, so medication is key. Depends on the stage. Like I said, if it's the first, you've just been diagnosed with diabetes and your levels are not too high, we can use lifestyle alone and see if we'll achieve cure. Management. But if you're having very high sugars, then we start lifestyle alongside medications.
Okay.
So yes, we have a different classes as we discover new ways by which diabetes comes about. We develop medications along those lines. So yes, we have a long list of anti-diabetic medications, which it's better that you come to the hospital.
Exactly.
Yes, and then the doctor now decides based on guidelines which one is best for you. But yes, you can be started on one medication, you can be started on up to 3 medications, depending on how high your sugar levels are, because the aim is to try and bring them down as soon as possible to prevent organ damage.
Some have said that the problem with medication is that then you become addicted. And that without it, then if you stop it, and you become like you have to live on those things till you die.
Well, I always tell my clients that the problem is misunderstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Like I started by explaining how diabetes comes about. You can understand that this is a chronic condition. This is not something like malaria that you take medications for 3 days and you're fine. This is something that you have to be on. Because like I said, the problem is that a whole gland is not producing enough insulin. And some of the medications we give act like milking, pressing, like you're drinking such a water and you're pressing the water to come out. You get to a point where you press and there's no water left in the bag. You understand? So it's not like the medications is to cure the condition. We are managing it. And as long as the cause is still there, the medications are not addictive. We are using it to manage it. So the problem is we don't understand the cause. So the cause is that a gland is not functioning well. And we are trying to help the gland, supplement the gland. We are not replacing the gland with the medications we are giving. So this is the reason why you have to be on the medication for a very long time, even lifelong.
For the rest of your life?
Yes.
Interesting. How can diabetes be? Can it be prevented? Can someone whose family has a history of diabetes live in such a way that the person won't get? Or it will be delayed or what?
Oh, definitely. So, if you know that you have family history of diabetes, then you know that you need to start watching very early in life. So, again, the pancreas produces insulin. If you start to overuse the gland from when you were very young, you always eat the sugary things, you always have, the very big bowl of food, and you do not have discipline or control as to how much you eat. You live a sedentary lifestyle, you don't exercise, you move from your car to your office, and you get to your office, you sit down, you don't have time to walk around. This is recipe for disaster. You understand? You maintain an unhealthy weight. So if you know that you have family history of diabetes and you want to prevent it, you start by watching what you eat. Even before a diagnosis is made, you start by exercising. You start by doing all the things that I spoke about in lifestyle modification. Because if you do those things, you'll be able to maintain a healthy weight. You'll be able to reduce the burden on your pancreas by having to produce so much insulin all the time. So you're just resting, pampering the organ and not overusing or overworking it, so it doesn't get tired on time. So that is basically how you delay diabetes onset.
Wow. Lifestyle modification. And this is a Lifestyle, Leisure and Business Radio. Your LB radio is at 101.9 FM. And that's what Dr. Christian Akpan from the UGMC is advising us to do. Do you appreciate, Doc, the challenges some have based on the work they do? And how would you advise such people? The guy, you say he drives in an air-conditioned car and gets to his office.
Well, I didn't mention
No. I'm adding that one.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So he drives to an air-conditioned car. He gets to his office. He enters his air-conditioned office. He has work to do. He's a branch manager in the bank. He's a head of something in some insurance company, some finance firm. Then he sits and he begins to work. His face is damming inside his machine. He's working. This guy works till late, drives home. He comes to you and you want to advise him. What are some of the things you would tell this chap, to do to manage on the onset of diabetes in his life or whatever? What should because he won't walk to work, he will still drive, he will still sit, he would still have that. What would you say to such a person?
Okay, so sometimes we forget that before technology came, people were still living active lives, and the fact that technology has come should not make it seem like we cannot do some level of activity. So some in the modern world, or not modern, in the Western world, where obesity has taken over their lives because they were experiencing all of these things that we are now enjoying, you see that people are using bicycles to get to work. Very rich, affluent people. It's not because they cannot afford to have big cars. I've seen videos of people using treadmills in their office and their computer is sitting on it and they are working as they're doing the work. If you know that you have 24 hours in a day, and we recommend at least 30 minutes of active walking in a day, I don't think that 30 minutes is so much thing to sacrifice out of 24 hours. You can make time, because we know that this thing, if you get the condition diabetes, and every stage there's a different level of prevention. If you get a disease and you get a complication from it, you will be unable to do the work which is so precious to you. So you should value your life enough to spare some time to implement these lifestyle modifications. I believe you can make that time. 30 minutes out of 24 hours. You can wake up very early by 5 o'clock, do your walking for 30 minutes. By 5:30, you go and prepare for work. That is something. Then you sit in your car and go and sit in your office, knowing that you have done the work before you are coming to do the other work, So I feel like you can still make out time no matter how busy your schedule is, at least 5 times a week to do some form of physical activity.
Make time. Be conscious about it. Be intentional about it, and make time regardless of your how busy you are, right? And if you don't, there are going to be problems. What are the potential complications of unmanaged diabetes?
Okay, so complications of diabetes are enormous, and like I mentioned during the course of this our conversation, I spoke about the fact that diabetes affects the blood vessels, and we know that blood vessels go to every part of the body.
Okay.
So you can have complications. We classify it into micro and macrovascular complications. Now, the microvascular complications, diabetes is the leading cause of blindness worldwide. Okay, so it causes blindness. It can cause problems with the nerves, making you unable to have sensation in your feet, your palms. You start to feel this tingling sensation, numbness, and which can eventually cause you to not feel anything. That is why it's important. Foot care is very important in diabetes, because when you start to get the numbness and lose sensation, you can be at risk of getting injuries that you might not even notice. All right. So, and we also have that it can affect the kidneys. In the West, the global report says the leading cause of kidney disease, kidney failure, but here in Ghana, it's second to hypertension. All right. We can also have, causing, cerebrovascular complications like stroke. We have the heart attacks from all this. So yes, it can affect every. We have a peripheral vascular disease, arterial disease, causing, reducing blood flow to your legs, which can also be a problem. So yes, it can affect every part of the body.
Interesting. That in itself. So it means that diabetes then has an effect on other aspects. So it is not that that part of the body is where the problem started, but the problem started with diabetes, and it affected that part of the body. That's quite interesting. We almost have passed the hour of 9, and as the conversation is still, in fact, it's 9:30. Conversation on diabetes is happening here on Z101.9 FM as part of our Tuesday Health and Wellness Tuesdays conversation. Dr. Christian Akpan from the UGMC is here with us, and we're having some very thoughtful insight into this very illness called diabetes. We are announcing that in the next 10 minutes, which is like 20 minutes to the top of the hour, we'll be opening the phone lines for you to also join this conversation. 0544-321019 or 0303-956641. Those are the lines you can call. You can send a message on the WhatsApp line is 0544-321019. And you can also follow us on our social media platforms, on X, on Instagram, on Facebook. The handle is at ZFMGH. At ZEDFMGH, and then on TikTok and on YouTube, the handle is at Z Multimedia, and the website is zmultimedia.com. And the lines will be open at 9:40 so that you can call in and join the conversation. Let's talk about monitoring blood sugar levels.
Okay.
How important is this in the whole discussion on diabetes?
Okay. So preventing complications from diabetes is basically keeping, for those who already have the disease, so this is what we call secondary prevention. It is to make sure you have normal sugar levels. And you cannot know unless you check, all right? You need to check to be sure that the medications we are giving you is getting good results. So when we start our patients on medications, we give them what we call a glucose chart to get us a glucose profile. So they need to check at certain times so that we are sure that the medications we are giving them is working. You cannot tell your level of blood sugar unless you check, and there are certain levels that we have seen from research that if we are able to achieve those target ranges, we will prevent complications. So now the aim is to treat to target so that we prevent complications that arise from this disease.
And how are these tests? I mean, individual at home, how is he going to test, or he has to go to the hospital to test?
No, we have the glucose monitors that can be self-applied.
Okay.
It's very easy to use. Maybe the first time the pharmacist can show you, or the health worker if you're in the hospital, and then you can easily administer it to yourself. Yes.
Interesting. Let's go into this very discussion. And I know it's early morning radio, but there's a doctor here, so some of the conversations might get a bit uncomfortable, but we still must talk about it. What is this thing about diabetes and sores?
Diabetes and
sores.
Sores. Oh, okay, like wounds.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. So, diabetes, we already said, causes high levels of sugar in the blood.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I already spoke about foot numbness as well. In a client who has gotten that complication of numbness, is unfortunately unable to feel the leg very well. So they might get injuries in the legs that they are not aware of because they are not feeling any sensation. Also, bacteria loves sugar. So we also know that the foot is in close proximity to the ground, which is full of bacteria. So when you get a wound which you are not even aware of, and your blood sugar is high at the same time, it's almost impossible for that wound to heal on its own, because bacteria is going to feast on that wound and make it get worse and worse and worse. And oftentimes the client is not even aware, which is important to do foot care. So we teach our patients to every day pick up the leg, inspect it, look at it, all right, so that you are not missing any wound. Wear very comfortable protective shoes, padded shoes that are raised from the floor so that you don't pick any nails without knowing. And then also look at it, like I said, every day. But if you notice any wound, present to the hospital as soon as possible.
Kofi from East Legon, can you please ask how they diagnose the key biomarkers? That's a question.
I already spoke about the fasting blood sugar.
Okay.
Confirmation with oral glucose tolerance test. We also have a test called glycated hemoglobin, which can be used to diagnose, but it's still controversial whether indeed it should be used to diagnose, but we use it to monitor. We use it to monitor whether we are achieving the targets we've set for ourselves, and whether, and inform us how aggressive we should start treatments.
Oh, interesting. Let me also come into this discussion, the traditional bit of managing diabetes.
Okay.
As a doctor, have you had patients say, I'll go and use, traditional medicine or herbs or something? What is that discussion like, and how do you handle them?
Okay, so I say that I am practicing orthodox medicine. I do not battle with people who prefer traditional herbal medicine. If it works, I'm okay. So if you want to use the herbal therapy, as long as it works for you, I do not stand in their way. Just that unfortunately some of them come back with complications that we have to manage. So I don't completely, ignore herbal medicine. Just that I do where I'm conversant with. I practice what I'm conversant with.
Yeah, you don't want to get into that space and argue with them and say, it works, it doesn't work.
Yes.
Oh, our great-great-grandfathers use these herbs and all that. I get that, because I'm asking that because there are those who would say that orthodox medicine actually then made their case worse and all that. I mean, and so when you hear things like that, you I'm sure you have an understanding of it. We'll come to issues of myths and complications. A diabetic getting into a holiday season.
Okay.
What would you advise the person? The person is your client, or the person is listening to us. There's a party coming on. There's a long weekend like the one we had just recently. What would you tell the person?
you know your condition. You know that you have a challenge with managing your blood sugars. Unfortunately, the festive seasons is strived with, sugary foods, drinks, and a lot of merry eating. But you have to apply caution. You have to be moderate because you don't metabolize your food like the others do. So you have to still be watchful. Yes, that's
you have
my
to
advice.
still be watchful. There's a second question. They're coming in hard and fast. Between insulin and blood glucose, which is a better marker for early detection?
I don't think I understand the question. Between insulin is not, we don't use insulin as a marker. We use the blood glucose to know whether you are having diabetes or not.
Okay. So
Yes.
the person's argument is insulin's work is actually to send, for want of a better word, send the blood glucose into the
Yes,
cells, right?
yes.
We've established that from the beginning. So I think
we do not test how much insulin you have in your blood. We use the blood glucose, which we can easily check as a proxy to know whether you are doing well with your insulin or not. Because like I said, sometimes because there's insulin there, but it's not working well, all right? Sometimes there's not enough insulin, but what we want to know is your sugars high or low or normal? Yes.
Okay, so the marker is not the insulin, but what the insulin is supposed to do will give us an indication of whether it is doing that or it's not doing that. Okay, so let me announce the lines again: 0544321019 and 0303956641. And on Facebook, on Instagram, and on X, it's at ZFMGH. On TikTok and YouTube is at Z Multimedia. The website is zmultimedia.com. And it's a conversation on Tuesdays. And Tuesdays conversations are always about health and wellness. We have with us in the studio Dr. Christian Ackman from UGMC, University of Ghana Medical Center. We're talking diabetes this morning. It is important. So bring your calls. Send us your messages as well. Call. We'll pick your line and we'll have a conversation with a good doctor as we continue. What are some of the myths and misconceptions about diabetes that you know? I also know some.
Okay.
So you debunk some and then we also go ahead.
Okay. So some of the myths are, diabetes only happens in elderly people. We know that now that we have diabetes a lot in young people. Some people also feel like once you have been asked to take insulin, then that's the end of your life. People actually really dread insulin. And so that's another myth that is not true. Insulin is to help you. It's because you know that you need it. If you did not need it, we will not recommend it. So there's no harm. It's not the end. Rather, if you take it as you should, then we'll get lower sugar levels and we'll be better off preventing complications.
Okay, I think we have a call on the line. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Welcome to the show. Please, where are you calling from and your names?
I'm calling from Community 25. I'm Akwesi.
Okay, Akwesi from Community 25, Tema.
Please, I want to ask doctor, how do I know if my sugar is up or my sugar is low? How would I know? If I don't go to the hospital, how would I know?
If you don't go to the hospital, you will know from some of the symptoms I mentioned. So if you notice that you're urinating a lot, you're feeling a lot more thirsty, you're eating a lot, but you're actually losing weight. These are some of the markers that we can use to tell that perhaps you should go and get a screen. But it's important that you get screened regularly because the early stages of it are actually very insidious and you would not know.
Okay. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you very much. From Tema, Community 25, Casey, thank you so much for calling. So, yes, the conversation still continues right here. It's health and wellness Tuesdays. The diabetes question, the conversation is going on right here. What about the fact that it's for rich people? Have you come across that myth? I have my own myths, so I'm bringing some of them out.
Okay, maybe because the rich people are actually eating a lot of the refined sugars more, and they're actually their lifestyle is actually, we know that the people who have low means might not be into those simple sugars as much as the rich people. So maybe that is why.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it is not true that it's a
No,
rich
it's not
people's
true.
disease. Okay. 0544 321019. That's the line. 0544 321019. 0303 956641. 0303 956641. Those are the lines you can call and we'll talk to you. Yes, Doc, you were saying something.
So I wanted to say that when I was mentioning the complications of diabetes, I actually didn't mention the acute complications of diabetes. We have the fact that you can get actually hypoglycemic, all right? So if you take your medications and you forget to eat, you can actually get very low sugars, which for us is more life-threatening than even the high sugars.
Wow.
So if you are a diabetic and you're taking your medications, forgotten to eat, and you realize that you are sweating, you are feeling dizzy, and your heart is beating fast, you should actually look for any sugary drink and take it immediately and get your sugar checked. Go to the nearest hospital. Sometimes also people who forget to take their medications can have very high sugars to that point, which can also be life-threatening. So please try to comply with our medication regime and take it as we advise.
Thank you very much. 0544 321019. 0544 321019. 0303 956641. 0303 956641. You can also send messages via our social media and we'll be picking them on X, on Instagram, and on Facebook. The handle is at ZFMGH. ZEDFMGH. And then on TikTok and YouTube is at Z Multimedia. Those are the handles that you can touch us on. Obesity always leads to diabetes. Is that a myth or is that true?
It's not true. Not all patients who are obese have diabetes. So, it's a myth. It's just that there's a high tendency that if you're obese, you could get diabetes. But it's not an all situation.
Okay. The lines are still open. You can call. I hear there's a caller on the line. We'll try and get through to that caller as well. Just so that we have a conversation. If you have a question for Dr. Christiana Akpan from UGMC on diabetes, please kindly call in and then ask her your question. She's ready to answer you. We have a caller on the line. Good morning, and please, where are you calling from?
Good morning. My name is Kofi, and I'm calling from East Legon.
Okay, Kofi from East Legon. Please, what's your question for Dr. Christiana?
Okay, so I just had a response to the question of the biomarkers they use for to diagnose diabetes, right? And she said they use glucose only as their marker. I think it's factually incorrect. Now, why I'm saying so is insulin is the controller for the action of sugar or glucose. So you must know what insulin is doing to the action of sugar. And so if you ignore the fasting insulin, you cannot, and please let me repeat, you cannot, will not effectively diagnose or cure type 2 diabetes.
Okay, thank you so much,
so,
Kofi. Yes.
No, and so, I need to move on. So my next question is, if they ignore insulin and the person has got sugar problems, high sugar or whatever, do they also, doctors, do they also investigate the person's C-peptide? If the doctor can respond to my questions.
Thank you very much, Kofi from East Legon. He spoke. All right, so Doc will handle that.
Okay, so like I said, this is an educative show, and we are trying to reach our target audience, which is everybody. And I'm here to educate. This is not an academic or a research show. So what we use and what we test our clients is actually the glucose, the fasting glucose. We don't test for the fasting insulin. For the general populace, we test for the fasting glucose, and that tells us if there's high glucose, and that is used as a proxy to know whether we are having insulin or not.
Okay.
Because when we test the fasting glucose and it is high, it gives us an indication that perhaps the insulin is either low or the cells are not responding well to it. That is one. Your second question about the C-peptide. C-peptide is used to diagnose patients with type 1 diabetes, and that is not for type 2. And so that one is used for the to actually have an idea whether we are dealing with type 1 or type 2. Yes.
Okay. All right. So I hope Kofi from East Legon, Doc has answered your question. Once again, the number is 054432 1019. 054432 1019 or 030395 6641 030395 6641. That's the lines that you can call so that we'd have this conversation with Doc. Now we're tackling diabetes, the myths around it and all that. Eating too much sugar causes diabetes.
Eating too much simple sugar is still a way of burdening your pancreas and making it overwork. So if you do that regularly, you increase your risk of developing the condition.
Okay, so you do tea, you put plenty sugar, you stay. I mean, you are increasing your risk. Diabetes is contagious.
It is a non-contagious disease. Yes.
People with diabetes cannot eat sugar.
Everything is in moderation. So now the dietitians help. If the patient would rather not eat because there is no sugar in the food, then they help the patient to calculate how much sugar they can add and how much food they can still add if they have to take sugar. So if you have to take sugar, you probably have to reduce the quantity of the other thing you're eating it with. It's just so that you have a balanced meal.
Interesting. There is another one someone just sent to me. I think I could even answer that, but let me bring it to you. People with diabetes are dangerous drivers. Does it got to do with the eyesight thing?
Well, again, diabetic patients are advised to have their eye checked at least once a year. So, as I said, it's the leading cause of blindness. So, if the patient has diabetes and they are not seeing well, they can be dangerous on the road. But yes, I cannot also say that
of course,
diabetic patients are
terrible drivers. Of course. So that's a good point. One thing leading to another and then to another. People with diabetes should avoid carbohydrates.
No, they have to eat it in good proportion in relation to their vegetables and their proteins. And the kind of carbohydrate they eat as well is important. That's why they need to see the dietitian.
Okay. That's an interesting one there. They need to see the dietitian. Someone just walked into the studio. Okay, so we have a few. Okay, there's a caller on the line. Let me pick that. Good morning, sir. Please, where are you calling from and your name?
Good morning. I'm Evans. I'm calling from Medina.
Okay, Evans from Medina. Please, what's your question?
I know the Western medicine will indeed bring down your mind. Do we have an alternative with African medicine?
Okay, you know Western medicine will bring down your manhood. So is there an alternative to that? Is that a question?
Yes, please.
Thank you very much from Medina, copy from Medina. Doc, manhood, very important. Is it going to bring down manhood?
So indeed, this is a valid reason why a lot of our patients do not comply to their medications. Unfortunately, I don't think they know that diabetes is actually a cause of erectile dysfunction.
Okay.
So some of these patients come with erectile dysfunction from the diabetes and think it's your medication that is causing it. I have some who will stop the medication, go for a year, and come back. The erectile dysfunction has not corrected itself after they've stopped the medications. But the diabetes is causing other problems, so they still come back. So please, with diabetes, our medications do not cause that. Rather, the condition in itself can result in that erectile dysfunction. So please adhere to our regimen. Do not stop taking your medication because of that.
He wants to know if there's an alternative. Let's tackle that part of the question.
The alternative is actually taking your medication, reducing your sugar levels, and that will, improve your condition rather than stopping. Again, I'm not here to advocate for herbal medication.
You are for orthodoxy, so you're here to do that. I like that. Like you said from the very beginning, during the answer to the other question, this is educational. And so we are not here to debate and to go into scientific theories and what works and all that. We're just trying to help the average listener to live a better life, like you said. So thank you so much. We have time for just at least one more call. So please let the call come through before Doc takes leave of us. What role should family and friends play with their loved ones in the life of a loved one who has diabetes?
Very important. With chronic diseases, support cannot be underestimated. Somebody taking medications every day can be draining. So a loved one checking up on you, how are you doing? How are you coping with the medications? Do you have enough supply? Can I buy your medications for you this month? Are you experiencing, can we talk? How is the condition? It's very helpful. It encourages the patient to comply. It encourages them to, voice out some of their feelings about it that they do not like. So yes, it's important if you have a loved one, check up on them, ask them how they are coping with their medications. Ask them, because even having to check, with checking your sugar, you have to prick yourself. It's not easy. So if you are married to someone with the condition, help them check their sugars for them, Say, okay, I'll be doing the test for you. That alone is a lot of support. So as much as you can, even if it's following them for their reviews, do that. Even if it's buying their medications, giving it to them, checking their sugars, in whatever way you can support. Ask them, have you seen your eye doctor this year? Have you done your reviews? Have you checked your basic labs this year? It helps.
It helps. Family and friends support loved ones with diabetes. It's important. So says Dr. Christiana Akpan, who is from the UGMC. The discussion today on Health and Wellness Tuesdays has been on diabetes. I hope you learned something from it. All too soon, 5 minutes to the top of the hour, we have to sign out. The 4-hour journey comes to an end here. Zed in the Morning from 5 to 6 to 5 to 10. It's been an exciting journey today. After a long weekend, hope you've learned a lot. And Doc, thank you so much for coming through. And we hope that we would see more of you.
You're welcome. I hope so too.
All right. Okay. Yes. Thank you very much. Before we go, what else can we say? But hey, that one timeless advice: pray like it only depends on God, but work like it only depends on you. We're out of here. We'll do this again tomorrow, people.